All right, guys, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new here. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and waiting patiently, as always, for the intro to finish up. I hope everybody's doing well on this Thursday. It was weird because yesterday didn't feel like Wednesday. Today doesn't really feel like Thursday. I don't know why. Strange feelings this week. But yes, welcome back. Thank you guys for waiting patiently for the intro to finish up. Um, I have to see. I don't think he's here now. I have to make sure to give. Not. I don't know if I'll call it a shout out, but yesterday at the very end of our stream, Jack Kinetic. Again, I don't know if he's here in the chat right now. He dropped 20 membership gifts, and for some reason, like I was just totally messed up because we transitioned to a members lounge. I kept registering it as 10. So I just got to like give him an extra thank you because I kept saying, "Oh, he dropped 20, he dropped 20." But when I put it on the counter yesterday, we were supposed to be at 55, so we like did pass the goal, but I had it at 45 the whole time. I was just so annoyed when I found that out. Like when I figured out the whole time, I'm like, oh, I didn't even put the correct amount. So shout out to Jack Kinetic for dropping that again. Um, but yeah, guys, what is going on? I hope everybody's doing well. Verko says he wants Wolverine already. I feel you on that one, man. It's going to be a long wait, but it'll be worthwhile, I think. It'll be worth it. But in today's stream, we're going to be discussing a few different things. Irfan, I've been playing some more Ghost of Yotei. I don't have a whole lot to say about it at the moment. Again, anything I could say would veer into spoiler territory. I will say this, though, Irfan. I will say this. I'm about 22, 23 hours in it so far. I definitely enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima more. Um, but to be clear, like, there's not that much of a difference. But I'm realizing that something about the story of Ghost of Tsushima, I think, pulled me in a little bit more. Um, although the story of Yotei is good too, and I'll see how that opinion could absolutely change. To be clear, like I have to see the story to the end. You know, I'm probably not even halfway through, so I don't know what events are going to unfold, and I could feel dramatically different by the time I finish. But yeah, I'm enjoying my time with the game. I'm still playing it. I'm just taking it nice and slow, savoring it, so to speak. Um, and you know, I'm hoping that eventually we'll be able to do a proper spoiler cast, like full review spoiler cast. But yeah, I'll be curious to see how I feel once it's all like once the credits roll. You know, Astrobot, what's going on? Um, but yeah, today what we're going to be talking about, I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about Saros. You know, I feel like Saros is it's coming soon, and I haven't talked too much about it. And I just kind of want to talk about the fact that I think this is going to be a highlight of 2026. I mean, we talk about Wolverine, we talk about GTA 6, we talk about Resident Evil, but I think Saros is going to be right up there. So we'll just have a little bit of a discussion on that. We're talking about Halo because apparently we're getting information on this Halo 1 remake that will be coming at PS5. So people are curious about this. We'll go over what's being discussed there. And we will also talk about Metal Gear Solid Delta. I had a bit of a request from Pragmatic Hat. Hopefully he'll show up today, where he asked if we could talk a little bit more about Metal Gear Delta, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm always up to talking about Metal Gear Delta. So we'll probably do that a little bit later in the stream. But we have a couple of other topics to cover as well. So we have even though there's not like a whole lot going on, we have a couple of smaller things to go over and discuss. And so I just want to take a moment to really thank everybody for showing up today. I know there's not a whole lot going on right now. Things are kind of quiet. You know, everybody's kind of like hunkered in, playing their games. You know, we're building up to the Game Awards in December. MVG, can you give Microsoft credit for the success of the handheld? Are you talking about the Xbox? I never know what to call it. The ROG Ally Xbox handheld. I don't know. I don't know that I could give them credit because I'm not in the loop. I'll be honest. Like I'm not. I'm seeing like The only thing I've been seeing is like thumbnails and stuff of people talking about it and reviewing it, but I haven't been even remotely tuned in, to be honest. So I don't know that I can't give them credit. I can't take away credit. It's one of these things where it's just I'm out of the loop. All I know about it is it's a handheld, it runs Windows, and it's got Xbox branding and it's expensive. It's a premium device. My assumption, if I had to just assume, people are enjoying it, like those who bought it, or they will enjoy it. That's my assumption. Just based on like how expensive it is, how premium it is, it probably runs games pretty well. I feel like with a device like that, you kind of know what you're buying into. But yeah, it's difficult for me to talk about it because I really don't, there's a lot of PC handhelds out there, man. And I don't really pay attention to any of them just because that's not I don't game on PC. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a PC. If I was a PC gamer, I would definitely have a lot more interest in these handhelds. That's not where my game library is though. Um when we talk about handhelds, I get really curious about the PlayStation 6 handheld and what's going to happen with my physical game collection there. I do have the real Snake Plissken, a member for 4 months. He says Battlefield sales of near 7 million already, 3.5 million on PC, 1.5 million on PlayStation, and surprisingly 1.2 million on Xbox. Eating good. Probably celebrated by stoning some women. Oh man. Oh man, that's wild. That last part really caught me off guard, bro. Oh, scary. Scary, scary, scary. Hopefully not. The real Snake Plissken, I really hope that's not how they celebrate. That's very disturbing. They should just be, high-fiving and saying, we're making good money. That's good enough, right? Oh, sheesh. Yeah, we're going to go over that too. We have some Battlefield sales. My only question, real Snake Plissken, assuming you're still here in the chat. So the 7 million, I came across that. You're giving a breakdown of how many sold on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Can you tell me where that comes from? Or like where you got that? Because I haven't seen that yet. I don't think. I'm just trying to make sure it's not coming from Alinea Analytics. Because I'll be honest, I don't really trust them. Again, I have nothing against them. I just, if you saw it on Reddit, I think we got official confirmation from EA about the 7 million sales. That I think is official. But the breakdown of, and I'm sure most of the sales were on PC. Battlefield's a very PC centric, PC oriented shooter. But I've been seeing a lot of different data points floating around, and a lot of them go back to Alinea. And what I don't like, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't care that much. But what I kind of don't like is a lot of people come across these numbers because they're being reported on, and they don't realize that it's coming from like, it's coming from like complete estimates, like just totally not official, not coming from any, not even like inside source that like, oh, I'm leaking the numbers. Like, no, it's just like complete estimations. It's like why we don't use VG charts. You know what I mean? Like we used to maybe a long time ago refer to VG charts for like console sales and hardware sales, but eventually we realized that there's just too much of a disparity because they're making predictions and estimations, and a lot of times they turn out to be, sometimes wildly inaccurate, but a lot of times just inaccurate enough that it's hard to it's maybe not the best idea to refer to that as like the go-to source. You know what I'm saying? Did I trust them when they no I so the real Snake Plissken, it's actually the opposite. I trusted them when they talked about Forza sales, and I think they were close enough with that. Like they don't get everything wrong. It's just when they put the data out that Forza Horizon 5 killed on PlayStation 5, I'm like, that makes sense. Like that adds up to me. Just like if these numbers you're giving me for Battlefield 6 are true, that also makes sense to me. Xbox is a shooter box. It's probably going to do well there. Battlefield's a PC centric franchise. It's probably going to do best there. It doing well on PlayStation. Sony is the marketing. So the numbers are not like, there's not a problem with the numbers themselves. It's just the idea that I don't know if, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're true or not. Like, this is a singular source, but it's all we got, So I don't blame anybody for necessarily kind of latching on to that. But I always issue a word of caution. But yeah, the last time we talked about Xbox sales for Millennia was Forza and also Helldivers, and I was like, I believed what they said about Helldivers. They said it sold close to 1 million. I'm like, that's pretty good. Oh, it is from Lineage? Okay. I assumed it was because they're like the only ones that are like pumping these numbers out. But yeah. And we have Posh09 saying, isn't it funny that everything is an Xbox but the Xbox handheld? Isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing there's like argumentation going on about like, is it an Xbox? Is it not? Like, bro, listen, Microsoft told me my PlayStation is an Xbox. The conversation's over. You know what I mean? It's been over. The moment they came out and said your PlayStation is an Xbox, you know, your PC is an Xbox, your refrigerator is an Xbox. I'm like, okay. Like I get it. I'm gonna be honest. Like to me, that was a sign of how do I word this without it coming off as like console wars? That was a sign of like to me that marketing push of everything's an Xbox is a clear sign of Microsoft signaling like we're moving on. You know what I mean? Like we're going beyond this now. We're no like we went from Microsoft back in the Xbox 360 era giving us sales data for how well the 360 is doing quarter over quarter. Here's how many units it sold. Here's an update for our total units sold. We went from that to in the span of like 12 to 15 years, them being like, okay, so we're not going to give you numbers. We're not even going to hint at how many Xbox consoles we sold. Instead, we're just going to tell you everything you're playing on as an Xbox console. To me, that's very much a signal like we are moving on. You know, we are going past this. And, you know, whether somebody sees that as a good or a bad thing, that's up to the individual. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I think it's silly for people to be arguing about the idea of this. Like, people need to understand that if Microsoft puts the Xbox, literally puts the Xbox logo onto something and says it's an Xbox, they're allowed to do that. It doesn't mean you have to agree. It doesn't mean, you know, and the only thing I will say is I've seen some people mentioning this on Twitter is maybe there's like a little bit of misleading going on where when Microsoft first talked about it, they made it sound like you'll be able to access your whole library, but then now we're finding out that it's actually only play anywhere games. And okay, so all right, it is what it is. You know, like just do your due diligence before you purchase and make a big purchase like this and know what you're getting yourself into. When it comes to Microsoft marketing, you guys already know how I feel. You guys already know how I feel. You know, like I feel like I've said my piece time and time again on the Microsoft situation. And if you want to know, and I'll put this out here and then we'll talk about Saros. How I feel at this point about Microsoft in the gaming space is I kind of pity them a little bit. And I say that because everything I see from them, I view it's coming from a point of desperation. And even when it comes to like, but they misled about this and they lied about that and they you know they said this thing and then went and did the opposite. And maybe this is just too passive of me, but I just take a step back and I'm like, yeah, they probably did all this because they're sinking, dude. Like they need like money alone is not just going to save the brand. They need to win people over. They need to find a way to convince people. And so they're going to do every possible thing they can, even if that means now saying your PlayStation's an Xbox, your Switch is an Xbox, your PC is an Xbox, your TV is an Xbox. Like it comes from a place of like they need to find some angle to persist because all of the other angles they've tried to take, it hasn't worked out for them. You know, it hasn't worked out for them. And, you know, this is why it's just like, all right, man, like you do what you got to do. I'm just going to be over here playing my PlayStation, you know? When everything is so good over here on PlayStation, why do we worry or care so much about Xbox putting a logo on something? LOL. AMD makes the chips for PlayStation and Sony puts their logo on it. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand. I'll put it to you this way. I think we live in a day and age of rage bait. rage bait is it's so ubiquitous, unfortunately, by this point. And I think the reason why it's become so ubiquitous is because people fall for it too much, you know, where it's like somebody's gonna walk around and be like, I'm playing on my Xbox, and they're holding or even like I saw the one thing that did pop up on my feed yesterday. I think it was the official Xbox account or something that said this is an Xbox, like definitively. And the whole conversation, like, and then I saw another content creator. They responded to the official Xbox account saying, "Here they come," with a picture of like ponies running, which is, I mean, and this is where it's like, I'm good. Like, guys, just go enjoy your Xbox, okay? Like, it feels so forced. It feels so cringe, where it's like, I'm not taking the bait anymore. And I hope to God that more people realize like what's going on here. Like, I don't want to have to spell it out, but it kind of is what I said just a little bit ago, where Microsoft needs to do whatever they can to remain relevant in gaming and to keep the attention on them. And when you look at the most effective way to keep people locked in on what you're doing and what you're saying, MBG, you taking the bait creates golden content. Maybe sometimes it does, but I'm just tired, you know? I'm tired because I know where it ends. In the past, I would actually operate on this belief that things can change and outcome can be different. But I realize now that it's like they're going to do what they're going to do, man. And anything that happens in between is just fodder. And it's purposeful because it keeps the conversation going. It keeps them in the headlines. It keeps these things in the forefront. It's marketing 101. Do you ever hear the saying all publicity or no publicity is bad publicity, or all publicity is good publicity, I think is the actual saying. You know? That is the epitome of what we're looking at. And that's where it's like, yeah, it's not uncommon, dude. It's not an uncommon thing at all. But yeah, you know, I've seen some conversations, and I haven't been paying close attention, but I've just seen some stuff kind of go past my feed, or even here on the channel, I see some people talking about it. And my only message is, dude, if you believe the ROG Xbox Ally or whatever is an Xbox, good for you. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's a worthwhile purchase. I personally have zero interest in it, you know, and that's all I can say. That's all I can say. If somebody asks me about Microsoft and their marketing, you know how I feel about that. Gaming Survivor's like, anybody who mentions Xbox in the next 2 minutes is getting timed out. Gaming Survivor ain't playing no more. He's like, I'm locked and loaded. Try me. Make my day. All right. We are going to talk about Saros, though. I want to start there. Before I do that, though, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into the stream and hanging out. And also a shout out to anybody who can't catch the streams live but choose to watch later. I really appreciate that viewership. And I want you to take a moment, if you haven't already, and hit that like button. We're at 40 likes. We could easily get to 50. New Soul 9's asking for it. Gaming Survivor, don't do it. Don't do it. New Soul 9's like, Xbox. Message deleted. No, it's all good. It's fine, guys. You can talk. It's fine. It's all we're having a good time here. I don't listen, man. I'm not trying to create a weird situation where it's like we can't talk about Xbox. It's not that. It's I don't want to turn it into that. I don't want people to think, oh man, Game Survivor's not playing around. He's like, no, I am turning it into that. We are not talking about it. Whoa, okay, well, dude, this is Gaming Survivor's moment where he's looking at me. He's like, look at me. I'm the captain now. Lady Gamer's like, yo, all right. Guys, we do need to talk about Saros. Chris Brown says, can't stay, but just wanted to show support. He dropped the $2 super chat. Chris, thank you for that, buddy. I do appreciate it. You know I appreciate it. We have Figuratively Literal, a member for 21 months, who says, what's up, MBG? Pretty sure Bluepoint was taken out of the supporting bracket and put into the single-player one, in Sony's latest report. Hope it eases your mind. Yeah, I think you might be right. I was a little confused yesterday. Like, I think I may have been referring to a 2024 report or a 2023 report, perhaps yesterday, because I wasn't sure. I was like, I remember seeing them. I remember seeing them in the support bracket, but I don't know. Let me hold on. Let me see if I can find a PlayStation Studios 2025. Well, how would I word this? 2025 report. I don't know if that would bring it up. Uh okay. You know what? What it Okay, so I have the new image here. No, wait, this isn't updated. This is not an updated image because Neon Koi is there. This is an old one. I can't find the updated one. Maybe this is it. Oh, okay, okay. Hold on. So yeah, this is an important update to something we talked about yesterday. I have the updated image here, and it says evolving slash multi-genre. Okay, and they have a separate one that says code development slash support. So in the evolving and multi-genre tab, we're looking at Dark Outlaw Games, Media Molecule, Bluepoint, Gorilla, and Ben Studio, as well as Polyphony Digital. In the code development slash support roles, we have Nixus and Valkyrie Entertainment. I'm pretty sure this is the most up to date. Yes, this is from 4 months ago. So there you go. It doesn't necessarily say single player, but it says multi-genre. This is actually very reassuring because, yeah, for some reason in my mind, I was thinking back, I think, to a year or two ago when they had them listed under support. So definitely some good clarification there. This gives me more hope, certainly. A lot more hope, actually, that Bluepoint is actually working on an actual game, whether it be a remaster, remake, or a game of their own, and not just supporting another game that's in development. So that's reassuring. So thank you for that, figuratively literal. And so, speaking of single player studios, we have Housemark with Saros. And before we get into our conversation, guys, um, if you want to help support the channel and support what I do here, again, we are completely fan funded. I can only do any of this content because you guys make it possible. Consider becoming a channel member. We did a members lounge yesterday. We're going to have a morning with the misses coming this Friday. So consider becoming a channel member or gifting memberships. If we hit 25 members, we'll feed the beast. If we hit 50, we'll do some reps. And you can also super chat or do a direct donation. These are all ways in which you can support the channel directly. So thank you to everybody who makes it a possibility. We have Michael Lynch with the super chat. He says the ROG is not an Xbox. I think your report yesterday from AMD about the engineers proves that they don't have the talent or willingness to help. Yeah, yeah, I will say, Michael, we went over that report yesterday, and I believe it 100%. It's sad at this point in time. Like, the state of affairs is sad because you see a report like that, and 95% of people are going to be like, yeah, probably makes sense, or like probably is true. It makes sense. It adds up. I don't think there's many people that would read a report like that and be like, no effing way, bro. This is nonsense. This is totally made up. Especially when you consider the source it's coming from, Moore's Law is Dead. He literally leaked the APU specifications or the APUs in general for both next-gen machines. It's like, yeah, his sources are good. He would have zero reason to make something like that up. So I do think that, again, just to kind of like put a bow on this, what we see for Microsoft going forward is just going to basically be Windows machines marketed towards console players. That's what I think we're going to see. But yeah, that report was kind of crazy. We'll see if we get anything else like that going forward. I'll keep you guys in the loop. Yeah, YouTube did have an outage yesterday, by the way. Digital Dude, you're saying MBGI rolled credits on Yote yesterday. I ended up with 70% of the trophies earned. Really? Did you do a lot of side stuff? Because that's a lot. That's almost 3/4 of the trophies unlocked. Not too much to clean up. I wonder if that's like kind of the average. Or that sounds above average. I think most people would not be at 70%. I would assume you have to do quite a bit of side stuff in your, in between doing the story. I'll be curious to see where I land once I beat the story. Irvin says I ended up with nearly 40%. It depends on how much side stuff you do. Yeah, that makes sense. I haven't looked at the trophy list yet, but I'm assuming many of the trophies are attached to side content. I definitely get that feeling. I unlocked a new armor set in Ghost of Yotei. It looks really sick. I forget the name of it. It's got this big fur cape. It's like white, black, and red armor. Reminds me of maybe something I would have gotten in Ghost of Tsushima for Jin. Looks really cool. Looks like some kind of samurai armor. The YouTube outage was in the US for me. It was about 3 hours, started at 3:30 p.m. PST. Yeah, like I went to go click on my members lounge to check something and it just kept giving me an error. Luckily though, for the time that it was down, at least for me, I wasn't streaming and I wasn't even on YouTube at all. I only went to go check that one thing and I thought it was just me, but then I saw it was trending on Twitter. Did I wishlist Wolverine yet? Not yet. Not yet. The next time I go on my PlayStation, I'm going to do that. I have to add it to my wish list. Yeah, you can wishlist Wolverine now, by the way. They did announce that. So not, pre-orders aren't opening up yet, but one step closer. Some are different, but it's pretty much like Tsushima, the trophy system. Before we talk about Saros, Lonely Fades, you're saying, did you see that Quantic Dream is making a multiplayer game alongside Star Wars Eclipse? Yeah, I saw the images of the multiplayer game, and have you guys seen this? Piper, you're asking me, so as long as the reports on Microsoft are negative, you're going to keep us updated? Not necessarily, no. I mean, if they're, it depends on what we mean by negative. Like, if the ROG, I don't know how it's reviewing. If it was getting terrible reviews, I'm not going to cover that because I do not care. The Outer Worlds, don't care. There's a lot of stuff I don't care about. I'll give you good news on stuff I care about with Microsoft and the bad news on stuff that's relevant to Microsoft. So like if next week we hear a report that from like just let's Sneakers SO or somebody, if they come out and they say, I just found out that the next Xbox console is actually going to be a traditional console and Microsoft is planning on going toe to toe with Sony and like they're going to make a better console than Sony, I will absolutely report on that. I'd be excited. So no, I'm not just going to cover the negative, but you also have to understand that a lot of the negative is also just my opinion, you know? Is it a spoiler to know if they have PSIP that suits you? Don't have to confirm or deny. Wait, Ray, I'm unsure of the question. I don't understand the question. Try reading that again. Yeah, I don't fully understand it. So I'm going to say it's not a spoiler because I don't know what you're saying. Yo, Josh is hyped, the voice actor for Wolverine. But yeah, I saw the images of this multiplayer game from Quantic Dream, and I'm just like, no way. I mean, it's just like, dude, it looks. I just want you to imagine what a live service multiplayer game in the year 2025 looks like. I wonder if I'm going to be able to get any images of it. Maybe it'll let me save it and I can show it. Like, I'm not. Let this be known that I'm not just this way towards Sony. Like, I look at this and I'm like, what are you doing? God, man. Let me see if it let me save the image or not. It might not have. Damn it. It's not. I'll never understand why it does that. It lets me save some images and show them others. It just won't. I just have to bring it up. Hold on. I just want to show this to you guys. If it'll actually function and let me. But yeah, Quantic Dream, I haven't heard from them in quite some time. Let's see if it's... Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry, I there we go. I mean, dude, like, I'm trying to just zoom it in a bit. It looks so bad. Like, dude, I look. I'm trying not to do that thing where I judge a game by its cover or its look, but it's just like, how could you think this has a exactly? It's like generic the video game, bro. How could you think at this point in time that this stands a chance? How is this the same studio that made like Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, and they're like, I know what we should do next. Like, this is why live service is kind of a curse. It's a permanent fixture of the industry at this point, but it's also kind of a curse because you see that like every studio thinks I can do that too, and studios that have no expertise whatsoever in this area, and they kind of start following like what worked for other studios, and then you just see something like this. This literally looks like a game that I would expect from like a Sony studio who's trying to do a live service, man. Jeez. However, in case you're wondering, apparently they are still working on that Star Wars game, by the way. They are still working on it. So if you were worried that they canceled it or something in favor of this, Irfan, yeah, they're still working. It's called Star Wars Eclipse. It was announced at the Game Awards like 4 years ago or something. It's been years since it was announced. It could still get canceled, but they claim they're still working on it. But the fact that they're like doing a live service game, not a good look. Not a good look. Not a good look in what I mean by that is for this live or this single player Star Wars Eclipse game, because it's like, how do you guys have the bandwidth for this? KOTOR Remake, no word on that. Apparently it's still in development. I don't think Sony has any involvement at this point, but apparently it's still coming. KOTOR's in development hell. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. All right. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Have you seen the indie game called Brawl Stars actually is making Bloodborne skins and content inside their game? They just announced it in a tweet. People are going crazy about it. Is it licensed, Tarnished? Because if not, Sony's going to be on them like a fly on shit, bro. I've not seen this, but if that's not licensed, they're asking for trouble. They're like, we'll do it ourselves. Search Brawl Stars. Let me see. Oh, okay. So they're like references. Tonight, Plague Doctor Crow joins the hunt. The last ranked season of the Pro Pass. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the image looks just like the cover somewhat. Like it looks different enough. Sony can't go after that. Although looking at the doll though, that female character standing there. I don't think Sony would go after that. That would be ridiculous. I thought it's very much Bloodborne, but I was on like I thought it was literally like introducing the Bloodborne hunter or something. I'd be like, bro, if that's not licensed, they're gonna take that down. I don't think it's licensed. It looks like it's very inspired. Like it's very clearly like, oh, that's Bloodborne. But it's one of those things where Sony would have to be so petty. I don't know though. It depends on how far the references go. They'd have to be so petty to go after that. Dreadful, you're saying, yo, these ads. What's going on with the ads? So, Saros. Saros launches May 20th on PS5. We got our first look at gameplay at the last day to play. This comes from Gregory Loudon, the creative director at Housemarque. All of the team working on Saros are so proud to be back to share our first look at extended gameplay, and we are thrilled to announce that Saros is launching March 20th, 2026 on PS5 and will be enhanced for the PS5 Pro. This is a dream project by a dream team. They say this gameplay that we showed you was captured on PS5 at 60 FPS using Unreal Engine 5 and is still a work in progress. So expect tweaks, fixes, and upgrades when you are playing Saros on PS5 or enhanced on your PS5 Pro in 2026. For this extended gameplay reveal, we wanted to establish the world and story and then focus on our deep third-person action and how we take things to the next level with Saros. They say the shape-shifting planet of Carcosa. The events of Saros take place on Carcosa, a shape-shifting, hostile alien planet, one that changes on every death, and offers a wide variety of environments and enemies for you to encounter. In this gameplay first look, we show our protagonist, Arjun, who is played by Raul Kali, exploring the planet as a total eclipse nears. Along the way, he finds Nitya. I will not be able to pronounce her name, the actress who's playing this character. One of our ensemble cast and a key character. The stunning environment Arjun explores is that of a lost civilization, fueled by the twisted enlightenment of the eclipse. This is just one of the biomes our amazing team on Saros is creating. And we have a Digital Dude. He says with a $2 super chat, MBG, I shit you not, Kratos just blinked behind you. Uh-oh. You know, some weird stuff's been going on lately in my house. So, Digital Dude, why are you freaking me out, man? Yeah, dude, I saw that about the 10-cent thing. They're going to be like, we'll make our own Last of Us. You don't want to work with us? Fine. Looks at Kratos like, yeah, I mean, for a second, I was thinking maybe you saw Luna. She's not in here yet, though. I'm sure she will be at some point. But Digital Dude, thank you for the super chat, buddy. IGN gave the Switch 2 a 7 out of 10, but the Ally X a 9 out of 10. I'm telling you, bro, like, IGN, tisk tisk. IGN's just fun. Like IGN to me is just like I said, man. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's a lot of desperation going on out here. All right, especially when it comes to traditional gaming outlets. I mean, they're trying to hang on, bro. So, but it's just their opinion. It's just their opinion. I don't know. I don't know that much about the Switch 2 either because I haven't used it. So, thank you, Garrett. I appreciate that. The last thing I checked out from IGN was that video they said about Sony stories being too similar. And my God, they got cooked. Like, I didn't even need to react to it or anything. Like, they got just utterly cooked. I'm like, okay, well. You think money grubbing to Toki, he would like to license out every IP to Tencent? Yo, I'm not going to lie. When I saw that report, I know I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. I'm all over the place. This is why sometimes I don't know how to run this show. Like, I don't know if this should just be a fully engaged, I'm just talking to the chat the whole time show, or I should try to like read some stuff and do my own thing and focus on it. So I apologize if it's a little bit all over the place. I think you guys are kind of used to it. But dude, I gotta say that like when wh- uh, when I saw the report that apparently Sony had approached Tencent and there was discussions about The Last of Us, I'm not kidding. I'm like, The Last of Us Online, it lives. This is how they're going to outsource it. It's not my preference. Definitely not my preference. But I had this kind of like air of hope that like this could be it. But then apparently, well, that's the thing. I looked into it. Apparently, Sony approached them back in July of 2024. And it seems like nothing came of it. It kind of broke down. So, and then after that, that's when Sony decided they were going to sue them because they're like, you know what, actually, we were thinking about working with you. Turns out you're just copying us and making our game and then, just slapping a different name on it or whatever. We're going to sue you now. But I really was like, dude, if they approach them with The Last of Us, I really, I don't know, my first thought is like The Last of Us Online, right? I don't know. Maybe it would be something really stupid though, like some kind of mobile game or something, which wouldn't be surprising. Josh, you're saying, have you been keeping up with Sneakers SO? I haven't been following too closely, no. You're saying he roasted Jez the other day. It was crazy saying stuff. We all know though. Yeah, I haven't, I don't really dwell on the forums like that. I haven't been following him too closely. I've just only really been waiting to see if he's gonna give any more information of some kind. There's a lot of drama going on right now, and I get it, it's not just in that area. There's just a lot of drama in general. It's been a very drama filled year. I don't know, maybe every year's drama filled. It's just different flavors of drama. But Sony won't give The Last of Us to anyone. I mean, that's the thing. I feel like Naughty Dog would not be happy. I get that sense. I get the feeling that Sony would absolutely license The Last of Us to a trustworthy partner, but I think Naughty Dog's like, Like, I think Sony would be at great risk of like pissing Naughty Dog off, and there would be some friction there. I could be wrong, but that's definitely the feeling I get. Carl says, why? Nothing has happened in the last 5 years in gaming. Maybe that's exactly why. It's got to be manufactured. Zombie Dragon with a $5 super chat says, it's a lot more interesting when you're all over the place. Well, thank you for that, Zombie Dragon. I'm glad some of you guys enjoy it. I do apologize. I guess I don't have to apologize, but it's just a lot of times I go in where like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. Boom, 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 boom. And then it's all like this, it's all over the place. So, and Zombie Dragon, for some reason, it looks like that super chat was sent twice, which is strange. I don't know if that's a bug. I don't think that's a bug, though, because that counted towards the revenue of super chats. So I don't know if you meant to say something else with a second super chat, but he's reiterating it. He's saying it twice. That's how you know he really means it. Big Nabs, you're saying ads keep popping up over the comments, MBG. Are you talking about in the chat? Because, yeah, there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. The only way, I would have to completely demonetize my channel to stop that. That's something that YouTube is implementing because YouTube realizes that streamers like me on YouTube and many others, we don't run ads while we're streaming. Like, we run ads in the sense that if you click on my stream to enter it, you might get an ad in the beginning. And then as long as you're in here, you don't get any more. And YouTube has been trying to figure out workarounds because, yeah, streamers on YouTube, at least for me, and I'm certain there's others, we don't want to run ads in the middle of our stream because it's going to, it disconnects us from the audience. The audience will leave because they're like, now I'm behind and I got to catch up. Like, I just missed what you said there. Um, and so I think what YouTube basically decided on is we're just going to put ads in the chat. And I'm like, damn, that's shitty, but kind of clever. Like, I didn't think of that. But it's like, if they're like, we got to find a way to run more ads during streams through, with content creators, that's how we're going to do it. So unfortunately, Big Nabs, I can't do anything about it. I took surveys for YouTube where they were asking me about ads and stuff for streaming, and I just simply, the feedback I gave them was that like they're intrusive and they tend to dampen the experience for viewers. Because I think there was like a few times in the past where I decided to take YouTube's advice and just like run auto ads, and it would be so jarring because we'd be like 30 minutes into the stream or 20 minutes into the stream, and then suddenly I'd see people all over the chat being like, bro, I just got like a minute long ad or something. And it's just really off-putting, it ruins the flow. So I guess for now we'll just have to deal with it, I suppose. Damn, Josh is going in right now. Yesterday, you got a 1 minute ad every 2 to 3 minutes. You just stopped watching YouTube. Damn, dude. I mean, I am a YouTube premium subscriber, but that's because I use YouTube Music as well. I mean, obviously, I don't want to like tell people what to do, but the YouTube, and I'm not just saying this because I do, I'm on YouTube, but YouTube Premium's been it's been worth it more so than any other subscription I have. Truthfully, I've gotten more out of it. No, Josh, I know. My bad. Josh is like, no, it's not me. I Am Alive was the Last of Us clone game on Xbox. I remember that God of War one where they just literally used Kratos. Do you guys remember that? That was so funny. There was like this developer that just made a God of War clone, uploaded. I say uploaded, but they just like put it on the Xbox storefront, and it would like the picture was, you were playing as, it looked like Fortnite Kratos. Literally, like that's what it looked like. I'm like, damn. Big Nabs, yeah, that's probably the play. Like if we annoy them badly enough, they'll pay us to get rid of the ads. But yeah. See, the thing, I will warn against this though. If you do decide to subscribe to YouTube Premium, if you watch a lot of YouTube, be very careful because understand there is no going back. Maybe that's why I tell myself it's been so worth it, because once you get used to having 0 ads across YouTube, you really can't go back. You really can't. So, subscribe at your own risk. I can't believe they don't run video ads in the chat section while the stream still runs. They probably will. If I had to assume, they will. They just have to figure out how to implement it. The thing I appreciate about YouTube is they're taking streaming more seriously now. But with them taking it more serious, they're also going to take monetization of it more seriously. And then, it's hard for me to complain because that does help me, they're trying to help me garner more revenue, which helps them garner more revenue. But at the same time, it's a balancing act, Devil Shooter, shut it. Stop hurting my stream, bro. I'm just kidding. No, we really do. I can't demonetize the entire channel, but we really do get, the way it's been is we get good enough support from the community here, on a month-to-month basis that I have not had to resort to doing anything extra. I don't have to do sponsorships, and I'm glad. I really don't want to do sponsorships. I hate it. Like, I can't stand it, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I see videos that have hundreds of thousands of views and they're just like, and now from today's video sponsor, and it's like, look, man, I just, no, I don't want to hear about another VPN. I'm just tired of it, and I don't want to have to resort to that. But I also don't want to Yeah, dude, I haven't seen anything for Raid Shadow Legends in a long time. I think they stopped their ad campaigns or something. Get that bag of cash. I'll be honest, I don't respect that. Not you, Tarnished. I'm just saying, like, I know we live in a day and age where it's like, get that bag. I don't respect that. I'm not saying I have like a like some kind of axe to grind with it, but I'm just saying like it's not about trying to be holier than thou or self-righteous. It's just I don't know. I obviously I don't know. I'm on some kind of spiritual journey, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm on some kind of spiritual journey right now where it's like I don't feel like I need more. I just need enough, you know? I just need enough. Um and I don't need more to make me happy. You heard a motorcycle again? Yeah. I just need enough. Um and I'm not trying to like say anybody who wants more that there's a problem with that, but it's just like, you know, if the day ever comes where you see me doing stuff like that, just know it's literally because I have to. It's not because I want to or I'm just trying to, get the bag. It's because I have to. And I think that's sometimes why I get a little bit like, like when I see these videos with hundreds of thousands of views, but then they have to give me a minute long, sponsor read in between. I'm like, bro, you're definitely making good ass money on this video. Like, but sometimes things get demonetized and it's not their fault or yellow dollar symbols and stuff. My Queen Ninja says with the $2 super chat, respect. Well, I appreciate that, bro. That means you're happy, MBG. I'm trying. That's the thing. I don't want to lose. I feel like it's too easy to get lost in, the endless chase for more. Like the idea of chasing the carrot on the stick in some superficial way is like, dude, you're gonna get that carrot, and when you do, all that's gonna matter after that is finding another carrot on a stick, and then another carrot on a stick, and it's like an endless hamster wheel. I think there's like a threshold for when people make money. In my observation, there's a threshold to where once you cross it, and that threshold I'm speaking of is now you have so much money or you make so much money, that it's just not a thing anymore. It reminds me of Forrest Gump when he got rich, like just randomly. He wasn't trying. He just got rich. He's like, it's one less thing, one less thing to worry about. I'm like, that's the threshold I'm talking about where once you have enough to not have to worry about it anymore, you're going to realize like money doesn't fill the void, bro. Life is much more than just money. So your two options are to obsess over money and focus on just making more and more and more and more and more that, and you just want to keep chasing it. Or you're going to have to start looking into other areas for some kind of fulfillment. But money is important. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay the importance of money. We need it to live, and we didn't choose that. We were born into that. So, it's the systems that were set up long ago that we don't have any control over. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's why sometimes I do get annoyed following like PlayStation and Sony, knowing they're a publicly traded corporation where it's like the endless cycle of greed, Yeah, it's a good way to put it. It's about purpose. Money solves a lot of problems, but not every problem. I view it as like money can remove the lower level problems that if those lower level problems are problems for you, they will distract you and you won't be able to focus on the bigger ones, the bigger picture problems. So when you have that kind of comfort, that I don't want to call it like a cushion, but just that base layer taken care of, it can free space up. But at the same time, yeah, I know it's like a members lounge now. Last thing I'll say, at the same time though, there's a lot of, and I don't know, this is kind of like the direction I'm going in, where learning to live with less, learning to want less, to have less desire, that can go a long way, dude. Like that can change your entire perception of this whole thing. So just keep that in mind. Existential BG, philosophical BG. It's too early. Yeah, it's too early in the stream. We still got topics to talk about. We got to get back to gaming. Speaking of money in video games, why is everything so expensive in gaming now, bro? No, it really is, though. Um, After Dark MBG is the way. Saros. How our action gameplay has evolved. For our first look at gameplay, we wanted to show real and unedited action gameplay from Saros, and then layer by layer, detail some of the new elements we have added on top of Returnal's award-winning third-person action. Our goal with these new elements has been to add more depth to our gameplay by adding a wider variety of tools. Ajun's advanced combat suit allows him to dash, melee, jump, and more. At the start of every run, you will select your loadout from a mix of solitary human weaponry and Carcosian alien weaponry. In this video, Arjun is using the solitary phosphorus shotgun to defend himself and melt the hostile machines housed in the lost ancient city. As you can see from our extended gameplay, you can expect spectacular bullet patterns from enemies and brutal weapons to use, which fuel the sci-fi power fantasy. This is how I'm going to start reading things, by the way. Okay? It feels better to read it that way. Doesn't that sound exciting? Yo, really, really though. Really. Saros, I think, is going to be a highlight of 2026. Feels like an ad. It is an ad. I'm advertising Saros, bro. It's free advertising. It will get some free advertising from me because I think it's going to be fantastic. Returnal was amazing. And I just, I've seen some people, not many. There are some complaints that people think Saros looks too similar to Returnal. And yeah, I get that. It looks like Returnal. Like it looks like Returnal gameplay, even aesthetically it looks like Returnal, but I think there's more here. The one no reeler. By the way, I got your email, bro. I appreciate that. Sorry if I don't respond to it. I just, I get a lot of emails, but I appreciate you taking the time to send some of that stuff over. My name's John, by the way. Some people call me by my first name. They call me John. So if you ever see that, because people do ask, like, wait, is that your name? That's my name, John. But yeah, man, Saros looks. The thing is, Returnal was so fantastic. I think it's a good thing. I do. I think it's a good thing that this game is going to be not much, but very similar to Returnal. I think, like I said, I think there are things that Housemarque is, I don't want to say they're like keeping a big secret, but I just think there's certain aspects of this game that are going to very much differentiate itself, at least from a story perspective and a presentation perspective, that we haven't seen yet. And they do kind of hint at that. Like, for example, they talk about a cast of characters. I'm like, that alone is dramatically different from Returnal, because in Returnal, you're alone the whole time, the whole game, which I think adds to the overall experience, because the fact that you're alone that entire experience is it's unsettling, and it makes you question things. This time around, I get the feeling that they're going to try to tell a more upfront story through different characters. And when you look into the way Returnal told its story, I'm not going to spoil anything. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to spoil anything, but what I will say is that when you look into the way that Returnal told its story, you realize that nothing is what it seemed. And it completely, like, it's just this kind of eye-opening realization, like, whoa. And there's a major twist. Like, there's a major twist in Returnal. And it's so specific and so intricately woven into the entire experience that when I look at Saros, I can't help but wonder, like, am I looking at another major twist? Like, is everything I'm seeing actually going to be kind of flipped upside down in this game, just like it was for Returnal? Again, I don't want to spoil anything directly, but if you played it and you beat it, if you know, you know. I think the answer might be yeah, but it'll be equally interesting if the answer is no. It will be equally interesting if they want to tell just an upfront story without any ambiguity and mystery. Although they are setting it up very much so, though, like there is going to be some kind of mystery and something's going to unravel. So Saros looks great, man. Looks fantastic. Boss, boss, boss. Just gotta watch out for him. Can you guys see him? Hey, he's just like looking over there, like treats, treat time. It's not treat time, bro. We didn't even get a single member today. You're gonna have to chill. All right. Sorry. I'm sorry. By the way, we have 69 likes. I'm not gonna tell you to hit the like button. We can keep somebody hit the like button. They brought it to 70. It's fine. What people miss about Returnal is that the character you play as represents both Celine and her mom. That the reason she has two different eye colors. Well, the driver at the end has brown eyes. Interesting. I never thought about that. Boss, chill, chill. No. Oh yeah, shit. Well, it doesn't spoil that much. I don't think that's much of a spoiler. I mean, it tells you that Celine has a mother. And that last part that Web 5 gamer typed, if you didn't play the game, you have no idea what he's talking about. So I think we're good. Either that or I'm just going to spoil the whole thing now. Returnal's a trip though, man, let me tell you. Boss about to bring the chaos, he is. Yeah, he's getting to that point. All right. You think he'll do another run on the tower in Returnal? Well, I think I won't go on much longer about Saros. I just, to be honest, I just feel like I want to keep Saros in the conversation because I do feel like when we look at 2026, there's so many like big games coming out that we know of. I feel like not Returnal, Saros has like it might get lost in the mix. You know what I mean? I don't want it to get drowned out. So yeah, I just want to make sure we're continuing to talk about it. I want to make it clear that it is one of my most anticipated games for 2026 by far. And I'm glad it's coming soon. We don't have to wait too long. All right. Let's talk about this Halo rumor though. So I came across this write-up from Push Square. It says rumor Halo Remake is coming to PS5 and will feature modern gameplay mechanics, which is interesting. I mean, the whole idea of it's Saros. What am I saying? Saros. My spaghettios and Saros. Yeah, I don't know, man. Saros. Saras. Can't wait to play Housemarque's next big hit, award-winning hit, Saras, on my PS5 Pro. It's going to be amazing. We have Kane Z7 with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, Blue side, hey, AMD, let's work together and come up with some new concepts. Green side, you AMD guys are supposed to come up with something. Don't ask us. Again, if that AMD engineer is to be believed, pretty much sums it up. Kane. Pretty much sums it up. Kane, thank you for that, man. No VR2, no buy for Halo. Interesting, unknown. Yeah, well, I mean, what's interesting is Microsoft has shown that they will support VR2 with Flight Simulator. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Boss. Boss. Hey, stop that. Stop that. Stop that. You can't. Oh my God, your breath stinks, dude. Like, what is wrong with this guy? All right. You love the spring sound? You like that, Shems? Yeah, like I said, guys, if you want to support the channel and support the content, consider dropping some memberships. All right. We're sitting at 0. We did great yesterday. I don't want to come off as ungrateful. I'm definitely not ungrateful. We did amazing yesterday. But it's more of a, bosses, the longer we go without hitting the goal, the worse boss is going to get. So please don't torture me or torture me and then drop them. However you want to do it. I don't care. But we do got to go over this Halo rumor. They say here Halo will make its PS5 debut with a massively modernized remake of the original Xbox game Combat Evolved. That's according to the Halo Leaks account, which has accurately outed information about the franchise in the past. Renamed developer Halo Studios has promised updates on the future of the franchise at the Halo World Championship later this month, where it's expected to show what it's been working on. Rumors of a Combat Evolved remake have been swirling for quite some time, with the PS5 expected to be a target platform now. Microsoft has gone multi-format. Halo Leaks says Sony's platform is in fact planned for the remake, but is unsure if it will be disclosed during the actual event. In addition, it says the remake will have, quote, modern gameplay mechanics such as sprint, a source of division among hardcore Halo fans. The original Halo Combat Evolved popularized first-person shooters on consoles when it released in 2001, but a lot has changed in the decades since its production. Sprinting, sliding, and even the ability to aim down sights have become common mechanics. Halo Leaks says that it will be a full remake similar to the Resident Evil remakes, presumably like RE2, which is a completely different game on modern hardware compared to its PS1 original. It's going to be interesting to see just how diehard fans respond to these alterations, assuming this rumor is accurate. Clearly, Halo Studios is aiming to appeal to a new audience, but a possibility that it could alienate its existing fans is there. So, yeah, this is fascinating. We've known for a while now that at some point Halo is going to make its way to PlayStation. But what's interesting to me, what I wasn't expecting, is the first thing we could get from Halo on PlayStation is a full-blown from the ground up remake. Like we heard rumors that this was happening, but it was kind of getting mixed in with like the Master Chief Collection is coming to PlayStation first, and that made the most sense. But what we're hearing now, guys, it seems like the Combat Evolved remake is going to be announced this month, and we're going to find out not too long after that it will be coming to PS5. And according to the leaks we're hearing, this remake is not like a small thing. Like it is from the ground up, similar to the Resident Evil games. But I'm not a Halo fan. All right, like I was never. I tried to get into Halo many years ago. It wasn't clicking with me. Call of Duty was my thing, and Battlefield. But I got to ask you guys, for anybody who is a Halo fan, what do you think about these changes with the mechanics? Like the idea of adding sprinting, possibly aim down sights. They're saying it's going to have modern gameplay mechanics. I mean, is this like a hell no? Like that's going to ruin it? Or does it feel like this could actually help make it feel better, right? And bring like much needed changes to Halo. It's heresy, Dyer. Verko says he doesn't mind Sprint. Ryan is like, Halo. Halo. Damn, Devil Shooter says, hey, I'm a Halo fan, and all I gotta say is trash. Damn. You want third person? Well, that's an interesting one. Third person in Halo. I mean, I like third person games. I feel like we don't have enough third person shooters, to be honest. I don't think we have enough. I don't know that Halo would be the game to make third person. I think that's where people would start to flip out. Schmidt, you're saying it's okay. You'll try it. There's always the original in the Master Chief Collection plus the remaster. Irvin, you're saying Halo needs a reboot, not a remake. I mean, I do kind of feel like this might be a reboot. If they're saying it's going to be similar to like Resident Evil remakes, it sounds like it could be a complete overhaul. Like even on a story front, to a degree anyway, or the way it's told and the way everything interacts with one another. But here's what's weird though. What's weird about this Halo story or the rumor about Halo is just either earlier this week or last week, we heard there was like this big problem with or not a problem. Well, I guess it is a problem. We don't know exactly what the problem is, but a lead artist who worked on Halo for 17 years like left the studio, and all of the artists like left the studio. There's like one artist left, and the lead artist who left, I forget his name, but he was a longtime veteran, left like an ominous message saying like, you know, I'm not allowed to talk about it right now, but I will be next year, and I'm going to reveal everything, and just kind of like saying that like there's some bullshit going on behind the scenes, and he's pissed, and he's going to let us know. And I'm like, this is weird. Like it's weird that we're so close to the reveal, but then that comes out. It's like, what is going on here? That's kind of what I was suspecting as well. It has something to do with Microsoft's big push for AI, basically making it so it's like, yeah, like we're gonna use AI art now, you know, or you guys are gonna have to start using AI. Boss, don't start biting that. Titus, what's up, man? MBG, what's going to be crazy is when there's no new Xbox console for next generation and Halo becomes a PlayStation exclusive. Oh my God, MacTube. I don't think that's going to happen. Halo's going to become a PlayStation exclusive. Sony's going to offer Microsoft money they can't refuse. Sheesh. You love the original Tomb Raider, but on the remaster, you use the modern controls. Okay. Clearly, they did not want to become Halo Studios, but they were forced. Well, 343 basically collapsed, you know? And we have Michael Lynch with a super chat. Thank you for that, buddy. He says, if you had asked gamers if they would want a first-person God of War before 2018's game, they probably would have said, hell no. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. A first-person God of War? Dude, a first-person God of War game sounds... I mean, if they tried to like make it VR compatible or something, maybe, or like a VR game, sure, but I don't know, dude. The idea of like that's kind of cursed, I think. Yeah, I don't think any God of War. I mean, if you told a God of War fan that like, hey, we're gonna make like a God of War experience for VR2, I think God of War fans might be on board with that. But if it's like we're the next AAA God of War game is going to be in first person, yeah, I think they'd be like, bro, that just sounds weird to me. I can't imagine that. Like it almost feels like it would break the game to a degree. So I don't think they'll do that. I prefer third person games, by the way. Third person games to me, I've just always preferred that perspective. I don't know why. I still like first person games and I play first person shooters, but I've always just liked third person a lot better. I'm not sure why. A God of War FPS. There we go. Now we're talking. Yo, I would totally take it just to see what it would turn out. Like a God of War FPS. That's why you can't stand RE7 and 8. I struggled. Yeah, I struggled with Resident Evil in first person. That's why, dude, I am so glad in Resident Evil 9. Like, it's the best thing ever, dude, that you could just choose. I love that. More games need to do that. They really do. More single player games need to give you the option to just play the game in third or first person. Now, maybe that doesn't work for every game or every series, but man, that would be ideal. Honestly, if they did a God of War like they did FF7 from PS1 to the new one, it'd be hands down the best. Well, yeah, I mean, dude, you're talking about when it comes to the next God of War, like, here's something that's interesting to think about. You know how we've talked about, and this is kind of an aside here, but you know how we talked about Cory Barlog's new game could end up being um like a like an extension of the God of War universe. Like maybe it is going to be a Loki game. We're going to get like a regular God of War game starring Kratos from, I think, Eric Williams, his team. And then Cory Barlog's team is working on kind of like, okay, this is where we begin to branch the God of War universe out and expand with Loki. What if like that's first person? Like that's what, because Jason Schreier said it's going to feel like a new IP, but it's not a new IP. And I'm like, you get a different god you're playing as, and it's first person. I hope not. I wouldn't want that, but it's just some food for thought, you know. Titus, you're saying you started playing V Rising yesterday. At long last, it's so good now. I've heard good things about it. Oh, here comes Luna. Here comes Luna to act like a weirdo. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yo, boss is like on alert. I don't know if you could see it. He's like gonna start attacking her. He's like, get away. My treats. Oh man. We might have a battle. Yeah, we might have a battle on our hands. We'll have to see. You need third person perspective when fighting multiple enemies. Hmm. You would like to replay the PS2 God of War games with new graphics? Yeah, I'm shocked that Sony and Santa Monica haven't done anything with the original trilogy. Kind of shocked by that, man. I'm not gonna lie. All right. You hope we get a new pro patch for Silent Hill 2 when it hits PS Extra. That's the rumor. The rumor is it's going to come to Xbox. We know it's coming to PlayStation Plus Extra, and there might be some big patch that comes along with it too. I mean, that's just a rumor. We don't know. I mean, I'll be honest, man. Like I don't really know what people are talking about when they complain about Silent Hill 2 remake. Like, I think they complain about shimmering sometimes, but I don't know. I played that game and I platinumed it, and it looked great on the Pro. I'm like, dude, this game looks great. I mean, if I really looked close enough, I'm sure there are areas that could use improvement, but I don't know. I guess I'm just saying like people talk about it like like it really looks bad or like there's something really wrong with it. I'm like, I don't see what people are seeing. I don't know why. Like I don't know. I just didn't see it. Oh man. Guys, come on. Don't be weird and don't start fighting. Here we go though. So we're gonna pivot talking about first person shooters. We have this comes officially from EA, by the way. Um Battlefield 6 has sold over 7 million units in its first 3 days, EA confirms. It's the biggest launch in franchise history, most concurrent players for a Battlefield game ever, reportedly performing better than every premium game launched this year, aside from EA FC 26. That last part comes from gamesindustry.biz. So, damn, dude. Can't say I'm surprised. Can't say I'm surprised. You're saying I'm tripping? You think so? Put your paw. Don't. Leia's gonna swipe me. I'm tripping. The shimmering was / is bad. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I went back and played it, I'd notice it more now. Well, yeah, Battlefield 6 selling 7 million units is the best selling in franchise history. I mean, is it? I mean, guys, is it possible that Battlefield 6 is going to outsell Call of Duty? Because yeah, keep in mind that 7 million is officially confirmed. It's in 3 days. 3 days. Those are Call of Duty numbers. Yeah, I don't know. Call of Duty might be cooked this year. That's crazy. I think Battlefield might take it. But good for them, man. 7 million in 3 days means 20 million is within reach. Well, yeah, assuming it's going to continue to sell well. Oh, sorry. What are you doing? I think it's not surprising though, because like it to me, there was like a moment where everything shifted for Battlefield. I think that moment was when they dropped or they did the event, right? I think they did their Battlefield event and people were like, "Oh my god, like this looks really promising." And everybody was like, "Don't pre-order. Don't pre-order. Remember, no pre-orders." Then they dropped the beta, and I think after people played the beta, they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm pre-ordering. Like this is it." I think once people got their hands on it and they got to experience, like, guys, hey, stop fighting. I don't know if can you guys see this? Can you see them battling? It's like just off camera. Chill. I don't want you knocking anything over. Has EA reported the sales? Yeah, they said 7 million in 3 days. That's been confirmed. We don't know the platform split officially, but 7 million in 3 days, dude. So I think it was when the beta became available. Verco, you're saying you think it's going to be close, but Battlefield will sell more. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there was a beta for Call of Duty as well, and that just like came and went like a fart in the wind. You know, and I think that's a sign that like it's just you're gonna have people who buy Call of Duty no matter what, but for the first time in years, there's a real competitor now. I'm gonna get out. Okay, stop that. There's a real competitor now. And it's interesting that like I don't know, the interest and the level of excitement for new Call of Duty is like at an all-time low. So I think Battlefield might take it this year, man. I really do. You think most of the maps feel too small? I did not talk about Delta yet. No, we'll talk about that next. The Call of Duty reveal has 500,000 dislikes. My God. Boss, come on, chill. That's crazy. 500,000 dislikes. Saying COD's definitely cooked this year. Zero hype. I agree. I prefer the infantry focused maps in Battlefield, but they have a bunch of content coming. So, you know, people don't want to play Call of Duty to get bounced into playing Fortnite by the back door. That's why people love Battlefield. Well, I think it's safe to say Battlefield will be a 10 million seller certainly by the end of the month. It may already be close to it. Let's hope that this kind of selling doesn't make Battlefield another yearly release like Call of Duty. They already talked about that. They unfortunately, Irfan, they did say that they would like to become an annual release, but it will take years before they get there. Uh I think Battlefield could become an annual release. I'm not saying it should, but I think it could. I think it could. I think that with this newfound success, it's one of these things where, if not yearly, like bi-yearly, um, Call of Duty has proven that you can do this. You know, Call of Duty has proven that you can, if you capture the market with a wide enough net, you can. Now, I don't know, maybe Call of Duty is an anomaly, but Battlefield, just it finding this level of success, you know, like the appetite is real. So I don't know, like, will they do an annual release? I don't think they will, but I think we might get new Battlefield games on a different cadence. Like, I don't think it'll be every 5 to 6 years we get a new Battlefield. I think it could go biannual. And that wouldn't be so bad. I think it depends on, you know, as long as things don't get too stale and they don't get too redundant. But, you know, let's just say there's a new Battlefield ready to go by, like, let's just say 2028. You know, support Battlefield 6 as a live service for like 3 years and continue to support it for a little bit after. But then the next Battlefield in a completely different setting, you know, but taking most of what made Battlefield 6 so good. I could see them doing that. But that might not be the smartest play. The smartest play might be to just, you know, like, let's just continue to support Battlefield 6 for the next 10 years. But yeah, the thing is, though, they've made it clear that they don't want to do silly skins and stuff like that. They don't want to fall into the Call of Duty Fortnite trap or anything. So if they're serious about that, they might have to, you know, they're going to have, like, the reality is that they're going to struggle to retain players in the same way because they're not trying to have that wide, broad appeal. So if that's what they're going to do, I do think that will actually push them to make new Battlefield games sooner rather than later. That's my assumption on it. Unless they just change their mind, which very well could happen, where they're like, bro, we got, like, you know, 20 million players. This game sold like hotcakes. We're going to just screw it. Like, we're going to start doing collaborations and stuff. I think they would piss a lot of people off. They get a lot of bad press. So they're kind of in a particular, you know, a peculiar position, but it's going well. It's a great, you know, it's a massive success. I didn't think Battlefield would make a comeback like this. I got to be honest. Schmidt GT, a member for 10 months, says Battlefield needs to be 2 to 3 years or they are cooked. They need the manpower for content and bug fixes. Battle Royale mode is there too. I forgot about that. No need to be yearly. Yeah, the Battle Royale mode, I'm really curious to see how that plays out. I might give that a shot. I'm really enjoying Battlefield 6. I might give that a shot. Do you know when that's coming out, Schmidt? But I was surprised that they decided to do a Battle Royale mode. But now that I've played a lot more of Battlefield 6, I'm like, you know what? This game does feel really good to play. I could kind of see how this might work. But yeah, I won't lie. The Battle Royale feels a little bit forced. But we know that the thing is, Warzone's dying. Warzone is like on its way out. And I'm telling you, I feel like Battlefield and EA went for the juggler on Call of Duty. Like that's what this feels like. It feels like they really were like, this is like, we're gonna go in and we're gonna like drop kick them down a flight of steps because they're fumbling. Like they're showing signs of slipping. You know, they don't look as stable. Now's our chance. And my God, dude, like, it's like the combination of people are tired of Call of Duty. The Call of Duty formula is as stale can be. They've gotten complacent. Black Ops 7, in terms of its setting, its aesthetic, and its presentation, looks like the most generic, like, here's another Call of Duty blah, blah, blah you can run on the wall that we've ever seen. Or that we, you know, it looks, yeah, and it's created the perfect storm where it's like, and on top of that, Warzone's dying. Battlefield comes in and says, we're going to do the opposite of all this. And we'll see how their battle royale turns out. But yeah, I feel like Call of Duty, man, it I mean, we I don't want to like over exaggerate. It's far from dead. It's nowhere near dead. Like, Call of Duty's still going to do very, very, very well. But this could be the beginning of the end of Call of Duty as we know it, in the sense that, like, in the next 5 years, you're going to see an erosion where it's like, we're not going to be able to continue to just release games yearly. It's just not going to work anymore. We can't run this as a yearly live service. You know, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I could be wrong. So we have Schmidt GT, who comes in out of nowhere and drops 5 membership gifts for you guys. So Schmidt, thank you so much for that. I was not expecting that, buddy. We've been sitting at 0 memberships this whole time. He's like, you know, I'm going to get this thing started. And so, guys, you know, I'll encourage everybody, if you're feeling it, if it's within your means, consider following Schmidt here. Get a little member train going. We did that yesterday. We were sitting at like 5 members for the whole stream, and then at the end, everybody just kind of chipped in, and we crushed goals. So Boss looks like he's starting to give up, though. He's like, he's sitting on his chair. He's like, I'm going to retire for the day. Hold on, Boss. Hold on. So Schmidt, thank you so much for the appreciate 5 membership gifts. And yeah, like I said, guys, by all means, continue that member train. I will add that to the goal. Yeah, now he gets off the chair. He's like, wait, hold on. Boss is funny, man. Zanarkhan, I'm going to read what you're saying. Michael Lynch said, can you read my chat? Oh, you mean like your chat in the... Hold on, let me see, Michael. Where are you at? Hold on. Give me 1 sec, Michael. I'll see if I can bring it up. Oh, you're saying MBG, I'm following. Well, this is the last chat that showed up for me. MBG, I'm following whatever Vince Zampella does next. He's the X factor with the vision. Yeah, that's the craziest thing about it, dude. Vince Zampella, he's the one who made Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 and Modern Warfare 2 and brought Call of Duty up to that level. So here he is again. He's doing it with Battlefield. I know. I know that's not how his name's actually pronounced. It looks like we're moving on to the Metal Gear section because we have a couple of chats from Zanarkand is how I want to say. He says, incoming call. Press down on the D-pad to answer Major. Do you read me, John? This is Major Zero. I read you loud and clear. From now on, your code name is Naked Snake. For short, Snake. No, I'm sorry, Snake for short. Oh, I read that wrong. For short, Snake, bro. Oh. Oh, I ruined it. I even tried to like do Snake's voice a little bit. Your code name is Short Snake. Major. Oh, by the way, it's Major Zanarkand Blitzer 140.85 radio frequency. I love it. Bro came in here role playing. He says part 1. Snake. Tell me when you're ready to talk about Metal Gear Solid Delta. Then I'll post my conversation super chats. Please wait when I finish posting. You can pat your taxidermist cat. Rip boss 2025. Then read. Yo, boss. Whoa. You're getting a little too close, buddy. I know you're excited, but we still only have 5 members. Chill. And he says here with part 2, feel free to stop during some to discuss about it. All right, hold on. I said earlier in the chat, Zanarkhan, that I was like, man, I hope he does show up because we were going to talk some Metal Gear today. We did talk a little bit more Battlefield than I expected, but I do want to talk about Metal Gear. So feel free to drop the conversation, and maybe I'll try to find. I will read it. I was gonna say maybe I'll do like the text to speech, but it's probably gonna ruin it. I'll leave it up to you. If you're gonna drop super chats like that, you can choose. I'll either read it myself when we're finished, when you're finished dropping them all, or I'll do the text to speech. So I'll leave it up to you. But yeah, I do want to talk. Boss, bro, you're gonna knock all that down. You need to chill. We're gonna have a straight up codec call. Oh, he changed his profile picture too to Major Zero. That's amazing. Oh, I wish I could yeah. So we'll talk about Metal Gear. I did want to have a bit of a follow-up conversation with you guys about Metal Gear Solid Delta. Did you guys see that? Do you see Boss is like, no. Hand down. Boss. No. Stop it. Boss wants a handshake. No, he's like, he's signaling. He's like, no. He's like, stand. He's telling me to stand down. He's like, stop. Ow. You better put those claws away, boy. Sorry, I just, I told you guys. See, I shouldn't have celebrated Schmidt's 5 memberships that loudly. Boss knows now. He knows when I'm celebrating member gifts. He senses the change in my voice. Give him one treat. I will literally give him one treat, Shems. But now you got to drop 5 memberships. I'm just kidding. You can if you want, but I'll give him one. Okay, all right. I'll give him literally one treat. Singular treat. Here you go. That's what 5 memberships gets you. He's so confused. He's literally looking around like, where'd the rest go? Whoa, chill, dude. Oh my God. You know what? Hold on. Before we talk about Metal Gear, I may have just initiated something. Yeah, he's getting upset. Don't hurt me. He's like, is this some kind of fucking joke to you? Boss, I gave you your singular treat. I told you were going on a diet. Boy. You didn't believe me, did you? And Zombie Dragon comes in. And says, yo, I got to help my boy Boss out here. I'm going to drop 5 more for you. Zombie Dragon, thank you so much for that, man. You've been dropping some member gifts lately, trying to help us get those goals.
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Well, there we go. That's 10. This is how it starts. Guys. We might be able to. Teddy's just like, man, I might have to get my phone, bro. Let me see here. Hold on. What is this? Oh, all right. Well, that's just YouTube. I'm not gonna heart any of his chats yet either, so I can read them. So like I don't lose track. It's been a while. It's been a while, brother. It's been a long time since Xanarkin's come around, and last time he did this was for, I think it was for like X-Men, right? He was like, it was like Magneto. Good times, good times. And Titus does it. He actually did it. Titus says, "Bro, here's 5 more, boss." They're trying. They're trying to do it for you, man. They feel bad. I gave him a single treat, and they feel bad. It's like, this is killing me. This is killing boss. Titus drops another 5 memberships and brings us up to 15. So you are now set up. 10 will do it. We'll see if it happens. Titus, thank you so much, man. What soundbite would you like, Titus? You want? I got a Hideaki Nishino. I got a Herman Holst. I got a Gopher Scream. I got some Death Stranding. Whatever you want. You're saying you had to verify with the bank code. Yeah, some people are telling me that they have to do that now. Well, I do appreciate it, man. Thank you. You want Herman Holst? Hell yeah.
This is an incredibly exciting time for PlayStation.
Not to get my reading glasses on. So, guys, I do want to ask you, did Metal Gear Solid Delta, did it live up to the hype? Did it live up to the hype? Hang in there, boss. I believe in this community. Just have some goddamn faith, boss. All right? Boss, you need to have more faith. All right? We got a good community. They're not going to leave you hanging like that. Yeah, we're at 5 parts now. Damn. Did you know you can get a headset at the end cutscene? You have to be quick. But if you get them, you miss the whole battle with the end. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. How you could like take out the end. Dude, when I was a kid and I discovered that, my mind was blown. Titus says a few 5s and bosses in treat heaven. We'll see, Titus. We'll see. I'll give it a little bit more time. Oh, you meant to say headshot. You know what's crazy is you can damage the end. You don't have to actually like kill him there with a headshot. You can I think shoot the barrels next to him and it'll cause damage to him. So when you go to fight him, he'll have less health, which is really clever. You can also beat the end by not returning to your game for 7 days. I think it's a week, right? Or is it 2 weeks? It's something ridiculous. Kojima's crazy. He's wild. I think you can speed it up by changing the time or the date on your PlayStation. Delta did Kojima justice. They didn't try to change the classic. They kept the original great and made it better. Well, yeah, dude, I had some. I mean, I had a ton of hype for Delta, but I was kind of prepared to be a little bit let down because something would come up. And for some people, maybe it was the performance of the game on the Pro, but I thought there was going to be something there that was going to make me go like, nah, man, like it didn't live up, you know? It didn't meet my high expectations. But I was wrong. And I was happy to be like not wrong, but like that slight fear I had was not met. And I mean, I feel like I can say with certainty that Metal Gear Solid Delta lived up to the hype. When that game was first announced, I lost my shit and I'm like, this is going to be amazing. And by the time I got it in my hands, and guys, like, I'm extremely excited for the multiplayer that's coming out. I'm extremely excited for the multiplayer that's coming out on October 30th. I just hope that there's actually a player base and it doesn't die in like 2 weeks. But The one no realer says, so should I buy MGS? I mean, I highly recommend it. I would wait until maybe the 30th when the multiplayer comes out, because they're probably going to drop a big patch on that day, a performance patch. Is it better than the OG MGS3? I can't say it's better. I'm not going to compare the two in that sense, only because for me, it's a time and place thing. When I played MGS3 for the first time, I was like 10 years old, and it was a mind-blowing experience, and it was insane. It was an eye-opening experience in gaming for me. And it really spoke to me and really resonated with me on a deep level. And so what I can say is that while the novelty of the experience was not there because I had already experienced it prior, the 20-year gap where, you're 10 years old playing this, 20 years later, 21 years later, however long it was for me. It came out in like 2004, right? That 20-year gap, and then as a grown adult now, seeing it in this level of fidelity and re-experiencing it, there was like a slight fear that it wouldn't hold up. It absolutely holds up. And it's, to re-experience that. And I will say, when you get to like scenes like the end of the game, when Big Boss is saluting, he's saluting the gravestone. I'm going to try not to spoil anything, but he's saluting. In the original game, they couldn't convey certain emotion through facial expression. And they just couldn't do it. In this, they added a layer of facial expression that was simply not possible, that adds so much more to it, in a sense, where it's like, I don't want to say that makes it better, but it's like that it adds a layer to it that previously wasn't there because it simply wasn't possible. And they're able to visualize that now, and make that a thing. And that really did a lot for me over the course of this game. The higher fidelity, the Metal Gear Solid series has always been about expression, sometimes insane expression. But seeing it, when you compare the two, seeing the difference in that, I would say the facial expressions in particular, not the movements, because they kept the movements the same, like the overall mocap movements and whatnot. But that was is a great touch, a really great touch that it makes me glad the remake happened, because Major's going ham. Yeah, he is. Bro's doing a whole codec conversation. He's on part 13 at this point. Holy moly. Holy moly. Metal Gear. I'm gonna have to work on. I can't do the Major Zero voice though. That's the thing. Like, I don't know how to do a proper, was it English accent? Like I would try, but I'm gonna sound really stupid. Like it's gonna be horrific. Shems, you can try. I mean, trying to do the Snake voice, like Metal Gear. The pain. The pain is shooting bees at me. What am I doing here? I'm no David Hayter. I'm gonna be like Temu Snake. It's so great though. Metal Gear. I want you guys to understand this for a moment, okay? Do Vamp's voice. You want me to do Phil Lamar? Bro, I don't think I could do that. What's a line he says? What's a line that Vamp says? He's so weird. Vamp is so weird, bro. Oh my God. What a weird character. But that's the Kojima greatness right there, though. Vamp is a character that only Kojima could come up with. I think Xenarkind may love MBG more than MBG. Never thought I'd see the day. 5 to kill, or maybe 6. What? Give me a quote that Vamp says to Raiden. He's like, I remember that scene when he's fighting Raiden in MGS4. He says something weird. He's always saying some weird shit. There's no need for sorrow, Queen. I died once already. I can't die twice. Dude, I can hear him in my head. Yo, shout out to Phil Lamar, though. I don't know if you guys know. He's the guy. Phil Lamar is the voice actor who does Vamp, and he's a famous voice actor. He's done so many voices. He does what's that guy's name? That's terrible. Exactly. That's what you get. Timu Vamp, bro. What's he's from Futurama. What's that character's name? Phil Lamar does his voice too. I forget his name. Oh yeah, he was on Mad TV. He was really good. He was always like the UPS guy or something. No, he doesn't do Fry's voice. It's the black guy on the show. I forget what's his name. Oh yeah, he did Samurai Jack as well. Yeah, Phil Lamar, he's a goat, bro. He's a goat. Xanarkin's still going, man. He's on part 17. Hermes, there you go. Yeah, he does the voice of Hermes on Futurama. So I don't know how many Futurama fans we have here, but Futurama and Metal Gear fans, but just know that's Vamp. Somebody's mind is blown. Boss. I know, dude. Listen, we need 10 more. I think we'll get it. Major, slide me a membership. Damn, dude. Xanarkin's still going. He's still going. Titus, you like Futurama? I used to watch Futurama. Boss is legit waiting. He is. Damn, Xanarkin has a lot to say. He's been going. He's been going, man. Jake, you're saying you sent me a sales update in Japan? Yeah, I didn't. I remember I would just watch Futurama when it was on TV, and I would like watch it every night, but I never like really followed it closely, like watch it season by season. MBG, I tried to do a super chat. It wouldn't let me. But if you say sentence in Arnold and Mike Tyson, I will help you. Memberships. Hey, yo. Snake. See that guy up in the tree? He's the fear. I'm going to go break his back. Dude, I'm just imagining Mike Tyson in Metal Gear Delta, bro. Oh, man. Like on the codec, too. That could be a skit. Now that could be it. No, not even on the codec. Just replace Snake with Mike Tyson in Metal Gear Solid 3. Oh, man. Yo, I would want to see that. Spinal. It's Spinal, Snake. I'll save the Arnold. I mean, actually, no, to be fair, Arnold in Metal Gear Delta would be more fitting. Like, I imagine Volgin going in for the crotch grope, and anybody who hasn't played Metal Gear Solid is like, what are you talking about? And you just like, in the captions, it says weird Arnold noises. He's like, ugh. Oh, dude, Arnold as Volgin. Arnold as Volgin. Kuwabara. Boss, don't bite that. Oh my god. Well, Lady K, I hope you were serious about those memberships because boss is say Shalashaska in Tyson's voice. Oh man. Oh dude, how do you say that? Salashaska. I'm not getting enough memberships to be doing this, bro. Boss, dude, chill. Did Corey get killed? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Corey, man. I get worried when Corey doesn't show up because the last time he didn't show up for an extended period of time, he had something going on with his health, something like blood pressure related. So I hope everything's all good with him. All right. Look, I'm gonna give you one more treat. Did I bite my tongue? No, it's Mike Tyson, bro. Look, one more. You get one more treat. Yo, Xanarkin's on part 24. Oh my god, I got a 24 part super chat. He's still going. He's still going, dude. Luna, watch out. Watch out, Luna. And Jake Skew comes in. Yo, Jake Skew says we got to keep the member train rolling. We got to try. We got to try to get to that 25. So, Jake Skew, he's offering a beacon of light here. He brings us to 16. And then we have Second Son 90. Second Son 90 coming literally out of nowhere, dropping 10 member gifts on you guys, expediting the process. And then Lady K comes in. She was good for it. She says, here's 5 more. And just like that, we got 15 more memberships, guys, on top of Xanarkin still going with a part 25 of his super chats. What is happening? So, Second Son, bro.
Holy shit.
Thank you for the 10 member gifts dropping from the sky. And then Lady K dropping 5 more. And just like that, we went from 16. We're at 31 now. 31. You guys are awesome. See, boss, I told you to have faith, man. I told you to have faith. And we did it. My nose is itching me like crazy. Thank you guys so much. We're going to give boss some of his treats now. He's been waiting patiently. I've been drip feeding him. Boss is more than ready. The way this cat acts, you would think he doesn't get fed. I assure you, this cat gets fed dry food and wet food every morning. Every morning.
Boss, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
It's time, boy. Enjoy. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been waiting, boss. Now, all I did there was reinforce to boss that continue to annoy the hell out of me when I'm streaming. And you will get treats because he doesn't know what memberships are. He doesn't know what's happening. But guys, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I really, really appreciate it. We were at 0 memberships and somehow we just got to 31. So thank you for the support. Where'd you get that? You could show it off on the morning with the missus. It's my new cup. It's a gift from Mrs. MBG. In case you're wondering where your membership gifts are going. It's my new, oh my God, the handle's so small. I have to okay. Just get this out of here. Bro's going to be doing a 50-part super chat. Holy hell.
Very fitting, says Irvin. That's mean.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm a secret I'm a closet Hello Kitty fan.
I'm an outlet Hello Kitty fan.
Boss, you look massive. Dude, you got to go do some reps.
Leia greeted me when I walked in the door. She ran down the stairs and she was like, meow.
Do an AI reading, MBG.
Oh, Luna wants some food too.
Well, I'm gonna see what when Xanarkin is done, his nearly we're at part 29 in the super chats. When he's finished with it, in the voice of Zero, I don't. How would I do that, Shems? I don't know how to do that. Like the closest thing I could offer is, well, here we'll do a little test. Xanarkin, you keep going, bro. You keep doing your parts. I'm not reading them yet. I'm gonna do a little test to see. This is so funny, man. I'll wait till he's done. He's still going. I'll wait till he's done and I'll ask him how he would prefer. But I'll give him a couple options. That's crazy, dude. Luna, you want some treats? Old British guy voice. Boss, dude, you just got some. You're gonna get sick. No, she's not gonna have any because boss won't stop. Look at that. I just gave him some. Dude, it's for your own good. You can't keep eating treats like this. Come on.
Boss, get out. Let Luna
Come on.
return.
You gotta go.
Did Zanarkin meet Luna?
Yeah, I think yesterday.
Boss, are you serious? Get off the desk. Is he serious? Here, give me it. I'll put it in the living room.
Dude,
Come on, boss.
oh my God. What are you doing? I don't have them. I don't have them. Oh, what is happening to boss, dude?
Here, give some to Luna.
Luna. Leia, you want some? Jesus. You good? You good? She jumped up to the tower and like almost missed it, and her back looked like it's almost snapped. Like, no, Leia. She's all right. Leia's the oldest cat, so you know she might have a little bit of trouble sometimes. She's getting to that age. So, oh wow, okay. I was literally about to ask if part 30 was the final one, but we're at part 31, man. Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button. By the way, we're only at 97 likes. We're 3 away from 100. If you enjoy the streams, this one's a little bit chaotic today, but that's usually the case. Yeah. I love how I continue to name this Press X podcast like it's some kind of formal podcast. Maybe that's the joke. But yeah, make sure you're hitting that like button and appreciate all the support. Very, very sudden wave of support here, which is great to see. So thank you for that, guys. The whole cat tower wobbled. Leia's getting big. Yeah, it's pretty stable too. That's the thing. I'm gonna be reading a book today. You are Agent Smith to those memberships, Hanzo. Oh, excuse me. Hanzo saw Cerny. He needs a membership, guys. Yeah, we're doing a morning with. By the way, yeah. So we got 31 memberships so far today. Just a reminder, I did a members lounge yesterday, about an hour long. You can check that out if you're interested. But we're going to be doing another morning with the missus this Friday. We did one not last week, the week prior. Mrs. MBG says Honko has to be there. So we got it. We have a mission. We have to try. We completed our first mission objective, which is we got boss his treats because God, man, that cat is beyond addicted at this point. I have to figure something out with him. But now Hanzo, aka Honko, he needs a membership gift. He says that's the only time he gets gifted anything. So we'll see. This community's been doing a really good job. Hanzo, hang tight. We still have the rest of this stream. We have Oh, wait, tomorrow's Friday. Oh, geez. I keep talking about it like it's later in the week. Tomorrow's Friday. I told you I was all messed up. Yeah. I'm a little thrown off this week. So we basically just had today. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, Hanzo. I don't know how much longer the stream's going to go on for, but we'll try to at least go for close to another hour. Yo, Xanarkin is on part 32 and Second Son 90. Yo, Second Son 90 out of nowhere. He just dropped a 20 bomb on you guys, and we're going to see. An Angry Whale Watcher dropped a single. That's 21 more member gifts. We're going to see. We're going to see if Hanzo gets it. They're being distributed. Maybe he is Agent Smith out here. Because I'm seeing a lot of people that I don't normally see getting member gifts. But dude, Second Son 90. Who is this? Second Son 90. I'm only saying that because you have a member badge. You've been a member, I think, for over a year. I'm not sure who this is. But they're coming in clutch today. They dropped 30 member gifts. Oh, Hanzo. Hanzo didn't get it. He didn't get it. He dodged it again. Do we talk gaming on here? We do. We do. Things are just a little bit off the rails right now, or maybe very off the rails, because Boss was going crazy, and we have a 32-part super chat train from Xanarkin, which only happens once in a blue moon. So it's a unique stream. But big shout out to Second Son 90 for dropping a 20 bomb on you guys.
Holy shit.
It's 20 more member gifts. And then Angry Whale Watcher dropped a single, and you guys absolutely crushed it. I'm going to have to do reps at the end of the stream now. I'm very, very sore. I've been doing very brutal, intense workouts, and my muscles are killing me. But I will still do the reps because no pain, no gain, right? So let me update the member goal here. You crushed it at 52. Time to Hulk up. Time to Hulk up, brother. I want to read every super chat. You know what I want? I know what I want. I don't know if I can make it happen. I maybe you guys can help me figure it out. I want to get like an AI voice of Macho Man Randy Savage to read my super chats. Although maybe that would be a mistake if I like made that universal, because somebody might be trying to super chat something really serious. And then you just have a, you know. Titus wants that. Titus absolutely wants that. But good shit, guys. I have to say, I was not expecting to get to 50 members today. So I really have to extend a big thank you to everybody who dropped support, and those of you guys who just came in the last 20 minutes. Huge member train. This is like the second day in a row where we just get like a significant member train going towards the second half of the stream. So thank you guys so much, really. Second Son says, I was unable to drop memberships because of YouTube's authentication. The community has given me member gifts. Now it's my turn to give back. Oh, well, Second Son, thank you so much for that, man. The reason why I'm asking, like I'm trying to figure out who you are, is because I don't know if you're somebody who's just been kind of lurking in the shadows during the streams, or if you change. Sometimes people change their names, where it's somebody that I've seen numerous times and I've talked to numerous times, but they change their name so I don't recognize them. But either way, man, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. The community appreciates it. And it's like I said, you know, we've just been keeping this thing going. It's community funded. It's fan funded. You guys make it possible. So it's always good to see people who've been gifted memberships. Every now and again, they want to pay it forward. And, you know, it's a great thing to see. So I really appreciate that, man. That's huge. Okay, so Xanarkin finished. He's done. Oh my God, Titus, I'm so sorry. Oh. I almost read that. I read that earnestly, like, oh, dude, Titus, what the hell? In Randy Savage's voice. Brother, I've had a hard time lately. My wife left me and I can't say, I actually can't say that on YouTube. My dog deleted himself. Oh man, that would be amazing and awful at the same time. I mean, that's truly cursed. I took it literally. I don't know why. It's because sometimes Titus is like that. Sometimes Titus, he just drops it. You know, he just drops some heavy stuff like that. You never know. All right. So Xanarkin, let me see. He says, done. Your voice only. I pay for you, not AI, no fake voice, just authentic John. Is that clear? That is clear. Well, that's why I asked, Major, because you dropped a lot here. So, all right, here we go. This is going to be a fun one, guys. Buckle up. We have I think a 32-part super chat. Now, I read part one, or I read the first two, and we'll start here. Okay, so part one. Okay. I don't think I actually need these, but you know, it emphasizes that I'm going to be doing a lot of reading right now. All right. Although, my God, these things are smudged up. Zero voice, dude. I can't. Randy Savage. I can't do Zero's voice, but I'll try to do Snake's a little bit if I can, but I can't do Zero's. All right. So, Major Xanarkind Blitzer with a 32-part super chat. You guys are telling me to do Zero's voice. Guys, I'm telling you I can't do the accent. All right. Part one, Snake looking through binoculars. And you know what? Hold on. There's an easier way to do this. Hang tight. I just need to... Why is it not giving me the option? Did they remove that option? Oh, here we go. Okay. This will be an easier way for me to read it. It just has to load. Okay. It puts them all together for me. So let me scroll up. And we were at part one. Okay. Part one, Snake looking through binoculars and spots a soldier wheeling away an old man on a dock. Incoming call. Press down on D-pad to answer. Major, Snake. Do you see a man in a wheelchair? Snake, yes. Major, that's... See, I can't do this. I can't... I need, like, multiple people here, guys. No. Major says, that's the end. One of the Cobras. I'm ordering you to eliminate him. But Major, this is your second playthrough, right, Snake? Yeah. Yeah. Exclamation point. And you do got all the camo uniforms from all the Cobras, including the end, correct? That's right. That's not Snake. I don't know what the hell voice that was. Jesus, this is a train wreck. Then what are you complaining about? It's time to put an end to the end. Is that clear, Snake? Yes, sir. Snake takes out the sniper rifle, adjusts the scope zoom, fires hits the soldier pushing the end's wheelchair. I said that weird. I'm sorry. Xanarkin and the whole YouTube studio just crashed. Absolute train wreck. It can't be any other way. Do Mickey's voice. I'm trying to do justice to these super chats. The whole thing just crashed. I got to go find my place again. I'm sorry. Don't worry, Xanarkin. We'll get through this. This is why I had to heart them in order. The end wakes up and tries to wheel himself out quickly. Snake fires more rounds at the End's head. Then the End shouts, "The End! The End!" He blows up, and the wheel debris comes flying and hits Snake. Dude, that's incredible. Just on an aside here, everything that's being described right now is real and can happen in the game. You can make this a reality. This is not some like fan fiction right now. The soldiers are put in caution phase. Second playthrough, flashback to first playthrough. Snake watches the End, pushed inside the warehouse. Fast forward, the boss battle with the End. Snake has been crawling over the forest, avoiding being seen. He spots the End at a cliff in tall grass, saying, "This is the End." Snake sneaks closer and points a tranquilizer gun at him, saying to the End, "Freeze." The End, surprised, says, "How did you?" Proceeds to lay on the ground. The End refuses to give up his camo. Snake points away the gun. He puts the gun away and points it back towards him. The End finally gives it up, then throws a stun grenade and runs. Snake hears him run off in the blinding light. Let's talk about the controls. I love the new oh, okay, hold on. So this is a so we went from doing a little back and forth play there to then a description of the boss battle or the different ways you can interact with the End to now, Xanarkin, just so we're clear, you are now explaining and describing your feelings on Metal Gear Solid Delta. I'm sorry, I didn't read any of this when you were sending it, so I'm just trying to keep it in I don't want to lose track either. What part am I on here? Okay, so we're on part 12. This is when you start saying, let's talk about the controls. I love the new controls in Metal Gear Solid Delta. Equipping weapons and items via the D-pad feels natural. Most games nowadays use it for weapons, spells, etc., leaving L2 and R2 for firing of weapon and use of items, radio now on the D-pad too. As for the overall remake itself, who knew that a one-to-one remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 built in Unreal Engine 5 would be so good? I was cautiously optimistic about the remake, and they delivered. So this version is the definite edition I'll be playing in the future, and I played both the OG PS2 and PS3 HD remaster. The Nightmare Dracula game was cool too. Your thoughts on the Delta remake? 1-1, the right call. Some fans of other series say that they wish Resident Evil remakes 2 through 4 of the series and Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth were 1-to-1 remakes because many things were changed, removed, and added in the remake compared to the original. Well, to answer this, Xanarkin, before I continue with the rest of your multi-part super chat, I think the 1-to-1 was the right call. I was reading some reviews prior to it, us getting our hands on it and playing it ourselves. I was reading reviews of some people giving it lower scores because they wished that more was changed. They wanted to see Konami take some more liberty with it and, just alter and change things and I think widen the overall scope. I was kind of in disagreement with that, though. Like, I would have been okay if they did that, but I think the 1-to-1 remake was the right call, mainly, well, for two reasons. Number one, this is the first time Konami's doing a remake for a Metal Gear game, and it's post Kojima leaving. Kojima's gone, and Kojima has a lot of fans. Metal Gear has a lot of fans, a lot of diehard fans. I think if they chose to not do a 1-to-1 remake and they said they were going to make some changes, I don't think it would matter what changes they make. People would be pissed. You would hear the most vocal fans being like, "This is unacceptable. You can't do this. F you, Konami." So I think it was the right call for that reason, but also because Metal Gear Solid 3, I think, still holds up. They did make some changes to the core gameplay and how it feels by doing the modern control scheme, but I think they did it perfectly. Truthfully, I think that Metal Gear Solid Delta, it finds that perfect balance, and I was worried about this, that it maintains the feel of the original game, but changes just enough so that if you do want something that feels more contemporary and feels like something that would be released today, it lends itself to that. And they just added what they need to, they tweaked what they needed to, and they didn't do any more. They didn't do any more. And I think that that shows a level of restraint that, frankly, I think a lot of other developers probably wouldn't have been able to do without, feeling, no, we got to change this too and change that. So I think a 1-to-1 was a good call. And you continue here by saying, I think it's safe to say that MGS 2 and 4 will get the Delta treatment, but that leaves questions for others. Peace Walker, Big Boss's face still looked PSP in the HD version, so remake that. Now Metal Gear Solid 5 and the controversy that ruined Konami for decades, so they can remake in Unreal Engine 5. A David Hayter voice option would be nice. The uncompleted chapters, can they be completed? I will say, I've always dreamed of getting a David Hayter voiced Metal Gear Solid 5. I liked Kiefer Sutherland, and I think he did a good job. And for story reasons, without spoiling anything, there's a reason why he sounds different. But yeah, I feel like David Hayter should have been in Metal Gear Solid 5. It was crazy to me that he got recast. So I would love to see that. As for like the missing chapters, I don't think they can be completed. And I think fans would lose their minds. I do. I think this is another area where people want to see the missing chapters. They want to see a final like chapter 3 and the full closure of MGS5, The Phantom Pain. But given why, like we know why it wasn't finished, because Kojima basically is like, he got kicked out. You're done with the game. This is over. I think if Konami took it into their hands to try to finish it without Kojima's involvement, that being the key word there, yeah, I think that would have been bad. I think it would be bad. I think people would reject that because they would look at it as it's not Kojima's vision. The only way I could see that happening is if Konami got in contact with Kojima and said, hey, listen, we were thinking about releasing like a remastered version of MGS5, The Phantom Pain. Do you want to finish these chapters? If you don't want to, can we do it? And can you tell us, like, can you give us your blessing, basically? Can you give us a input, as to what you would want to see done and give us the green light? I think if they did that, that would work. I think people would accept that nervously, but they would. But if they can't get that from Kojima, I would say just leave it, And that's what's so weird is that whatever they do with Metal Gear Solid in the future, like beyond MGS5, we just know that there's just these missing chapters, or at least one major missing chapter that we've seen like leaked footage of or something, like unfinished builds of MGS5. And that sucks. But yeah, the David Hayter thing, I think that could happen. That could absolutely happen. And you say here, we're on part 20, by the way, Kojima could return to finish maybe, or the dev team can do it. I never finished MGS5 because it felt different to the other MGS games. In MGS 1, 2, 3, and 4, you had always had the next objective to achieve. Get a PSG-1 and save Meryl. Change the temperature of the PAL key card. Freeze the bombs. Escort Emma. Find Sokolov. Use Metal Gear Mark II to open doors, etc. You had the Colonel, Otacon, Major Zero, and so on via codec to keep you company on your mission, reminding you of your objectives. In MGS5, it felt like I was just gathering materials to build Mother Base, Fultoning recruits. Codec calls were minimal, etc. Now, do you think they'll remake the 2D Metal Gear games? It's possible that they're remaking chronologically. Just to speak on what you were saying here before we go any further on Metal Gear Solid 5 feeling very different from the previous Metal Gear games, I agree 100%. And this was my major problem with MGS5, is the structure of the story, because they went open world, because Kojima, that with MGS5, Kojima was focused more on the gameplay experience. He took the feedback of the long codecs, the really long cutscenes, and was like, okay, I'm going to distribute the story differently. And the open world nature of the game allows for that different structure. But I do agree with you. I was left feeling with MGS5 like this story, it was good. It was very cinematic, and it still had that kind of Kojima cinematic touch. But there was just something about the overall presentation where, like, it did feel dramatically different, in my opinion, from the first 4 MGS games. And I wasn't opposed to it because I'm like, well, the gameplay and the overall gameplay experience you're getting in MGS5 is so much greater in many ways than anything else you've gotten in previous games. That kind of offsets it, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, there's like a vision in my mind of getting an MGS5 The Phantom Pain that is linear, that's more similar to something like MGS4, where it's more slightly open zone and not open world, but you're still kind of funneled through and funneled along, you know? Um, I would love to see what that looks like. But yeah, I guess, MGS5 is going to be that final kind of send off where it's the most different, but maybe that's appropriate considering it's the last one. And what you're saying here about Konami remaking the 2D Metal Gear games, I've been saying for years that I would love to see a complete reimagining of these games, combine both of them into one reimagining that truly bridges the gap. How that would be done, I have no idea. I think Konami would potentially be biting off way more than they can chew if they tried to do that. I think there would be many, many things that could go wrong. So I can't blame Konami if they don't want to touch it. If they go in chronological order, they would technically have to do a remake of Portable Ops next. I don't think they're going to do Portable Ops. Some things from Portable Ops I think are considered canon. Other things I think are considered not at all. So they could go in the direction of Peace Walker next. But my suspicion is they're going to go to MGS1. But we're on part 25 now, and you're saying always wanted to play it and find out about Gray Fox, Zanzibar story. Why did Big Boss and Snake have a falling out? Maybe in the remake. Big Boss is still haunted by the events in MGS3, hearing the boss in his head. Remember the CQC basics, Jack, and bring the world back together. And he's put in a position where the boss was all these years ago. He's the mentor confronted by the student, MGS1, Shadow Moses. Part of it was already remade in MGS4, so they can work it out. Plus, update the controls, add features from later games, as well as story that is revealed later in the games. Weave it into the original story. And so before I continue on here, because we're reaching the end here, I think there's a couple more. I mean, if they really wanted to get like deep into this and be like, we're going to weave and blend these things, I will say I don't know what they're going to do, Xanarkin, but I will say this, that there was something that I noticed with MGS Delta with the Vulcan boss fight at the end when he's on top of the Shagahad. Spoilers, but I mean, it is a 20-year-old game at this point. When you defeat him, they actually made a slight change to the way Vulcan looked at the end and the music that played. I came across this in a video from Python Salkin, and they pointed this out, and I'm like, oh shit, that's awesome. Like, I watched this video before I beat the game, but in MGS5, when you're chased by the it's ultimately like Vulcan you're being chased by, or like his phantom or whatever, he looked a little bit different, or like he had like bullets like sticking out of his head everywhere. In the original game, when Vulcan died on the PS2 version, like that wasn't there. So that was added in MGS5. They now added that to the remake, and they didn't have to do that, but that's like a really subtle change they made to kind of help with the continuity. Where like if you play MGS5 now after Delta, and you see that character and you see the bullets sticking out of his head and the music that plays, and they changed the music that plays, or they added a couple sound effects that came from MGS5 every time the Phantom would show up. Stuff like that indicates to me that they're looking to really kind of, like weave these things together and maybe start to kind of do more fan servicey stuff that I think the fans would be totally on board with. So just a small thing there to point out with Delta. And let me see here. I think we're on the last couple super chats here. You're saying here, so MGS3 is MGS Delta. What about the others? Peace Walker is Echo. MGS5 is Gamma for the Solid Snake era. MGS1 is Alpha. MGS2 is Bravo. And MGS4 is Charlie? ? Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that. if they were to remake Metal Gear Solid 1 next, would that be Metal Gear Solid Alpha? I mean, that sounds kind of sick. I will say though, like MGS4, if they remake that Metal Gear Solid Charlie, sounds kind of weird. Sounds like something tells me they're not going to go with Charlie, or I don't know, Bravo. Bravo could work. I don't know if that's what they're planning on going with here. But yeah, I could see them if they remake MGS1 calling it Alpha. That I think rolls off the tongue pretty well. And finally, you say here also, when I thought I completed my no-kill playthrough 1, the results screen showed up and I see 1 human killed. And I'm like, what the fuck? How? I used a tranquilizer gun. You're saying, how many times did I have to redo the Fury boss fight, avoiding him, getting through the flames using the cardboard box, etc.? My God. And then you say, the guys on the flying platforms, do they count if you trank them and they crash? MBG, when are you doing your live game playthrough of MGS Delta? Christmas? We might go back and do more Metal Gear. I will tell you, Xanarkin, we do have a couple of streams on the channel. I've streamed Metal Gear Delta a few times, so you might have to go back on the live section and check to go back and see them. I didn't play the entire game, but I played, I think, like 2/3 of it on stream. However, I will tell you, the Metal Gear multiplayer is coming up, and because of that, I will absolutely be playing more Metal Gear Delta, and I'm probably going to do some, some streams of the Metal Gear multiplayer as well. But I didn't want to stream the final section of Delta because I just wanted to play that for myself for personal reasons. And I don't regret it. What a great game. And yeah, so my understanding when it comes to doing the no-kill playthrough of Metal Gear Delta, my understanding is that when it comes to stuff like tranking the guys that are on the like the hover pods or whatever, I don't know what the hell they are, and they blow up, that doesn't count as a kill. So what you're saying, you ended up getting 1 kill accidentally. That had to have been something, I don't know what that could have been. Because my understanding is, like, if you blow up enemies with a barrel, like, that doesn't count. It has to be something that's like more intentional. Not something that's just kind of accidental or could be accidental. So like if you trank somebody and they fall into the water and then they drown, that, as far as I'm aware, that does not count as a kill. So you're good. So I'm really not sure what you could have done. I do know, I'm pretty sure if you kill the end before the boss fight to avoid the boss fight, that counts as a kill. But yeah, man, Xanarkin, huge thank you to all those super chats, man. It's very kind of you. It was a lot. I tried my best at the beginning. I really messed it up trying to do the role of Major Zero and Snake. But yeah, man, Metal Gear Delta, I have to admit, like, Konami has won me over in a way that I'm really glad they did, because I was there just like you guys were with the whole Kojima falling out thing, the cancellation of PT and the rushing out the door of the Phantom Pain, and the pachinko machine for Metal Gear Solid 3, which was awful. And I was always hopeful, although not that hopeful, but I had some level of hope that they would, figure it out, like find their way again. And I feel like they did, man. I feel like they're on an upward trajectory where between Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid, I love Silent Hill, but Metal Gear Solid's like way more special to me. They nailed the remake, and I don't think there's anything more I could have asked for them, but the thing is, they are giving me more. And that's what's surprising to me. You get the single player remake, 1-to-1 remake, alteration of controls to make them feel more modern, amazing graphics. You get the Snake versus Monkey mode. You get the dream sequence, and I think Platinum Games went out of their way to remake that dream sequence. But then they're like, by the way, we're going to add a multiplayer mode. And I know that there's not a lot of hype for this multiplayer mode, but I watched this multiplayer mode and I looked into it and I reacted to a lot of it here on the stream. And there's way more going into it than I thought. Like, we were under the impression that this is just going to be some throwaway, shitty mode that's going to have stupid gameplay mechanics to just try to appeal to the, Zoomers and whatnot. But like, no, this is a really well crafted, well thought out, like, how do we make a dedicated multiplayer experience that comes in the form of, I think they have 2 modes that embodies the stealth action gameplay of Metal Gear Solid. And I was watching, I'm like, dude, I haven't played it myself, so I got to see how it feels. I'm like, they actually did it. Like, and I was shocked by that. I'm like, they actually took their, like, it's unfortunate that it's releasing so much later than when Delta released, but they took their time with it and they made sure to try to not just, like, they're really trying to do justice to what makes the gameplay special of Metal Gear Solid and bring it into a multiplayer. And that means so much to me because I'm like, dude, I had it all wrong. I thought they were making a mistake not doing Metal Gear Online again. I had this idea in my head. I'm like, make a live service Metal Gear. You can keep adding like themed stuff. Like, for example, when MGS1 Remake comes out, you can do a whole season for MGS1 or, a whole 6 months of MGS1 content dropping into Metal Gear Online. And it sounds cool. Maybe they will do that one day. But I was losing the forest for the trees here where it's like, actually, maybe we should start small and nail a multiplayer experience that perfectly encapsulates all the mechanics that make Metal Gear unique. And that has me so excited for this mode that's coming out on October 30th. And so I'm just super glad. I platinumed, by the way, Xanarkand, I did platinum Metal Gear Solid Delta, and I did it way quicker than I thought I would. And I'm still thinking about it. Like, it just feels so good to play, man. Metal Gear Delta, I can't say it's my game of the year only because Death Stranding 2 is my game of the year. But Metal Gear Delta is like right up there where the more I think back about my time playing it, I'm like, I just have to give Konami a lot of credit where they could have done the easiest thing, which is we're not making any changes, literally any changes, out of fear. So the version you play, and they do offer the classic mode, by the way, in Delta. So you can play it just like nothing has changed except the visuals. They offer that. They could have just done that. But what they did add in terms of the contemporary controls, I'm just very like, it plays so well. I thought it would break the game, to be honest. That's what I thought it would ruin the feel of the game potentially. It wasn't designed to have a third person over the shoulder camera view, and to have these types of animations, but it didn't ruin it at all. It actually came together perfect. And so I got to give Konami that credit where they took on what I think was a challenging endeavor of, you have to remake a classic that's going to be under intense scrutiny. And dude, Konami made the right bets. They really, like, we were talking about Silent Hill 2 remake and with Bloober Team and how it's like, I don't know, man, Bloober Team, do they really have what it takes? I'm worried. And all of us were worried, and they fucking nailed it. I mean, it's like, holy shit. I can't believe it. Like, I just can't believe how good this is. And then you get Konami being like, we're going to handle Metal Gear Delta. And it's like, oh, that's even more concern. Like, you guys sure? Do you know what you're doing? And they fucking nail it. And then I didn't play Silent Hill F yet, but apparently they nailed that. They're doing a Silent Hill 1 remake with Bloober Team. And Xanarkand, by the way, I don't know if you know this or not. It seems like you've been kind of out of the loop a little bit. The director, I believe, of Metal Gear Solid Delta during the most recent, this was about 2 weeks ago, during the most recent Metal Gear Hotline they did, he was asked, they did a Q&A section, and he was asked about the next remake. And he said, he didn't say it's a confirmation, but he said the next one he would want to remake is Metal Gear Solid 1. And he said that he's up for the challenge because he understands that many more changes would need to be made for Metal Gear Solid 1 compared to Metal Gear Solid Delta, but that's what he wants to do. And he said that's not him confirming that's what they're going to do next, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do next, because if that's what he wants to do and that's what fans are also asking for and he's up ready for the challenge. The second thing, in case you missed this as well, because you were talking about all the other Metal Gear games, he did confirm that the Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2 has been in the works for a little bit now, and it's coming together well, and they're going to be probably talking about it and announcing it relatively soon. So it could be in December, could be early next year, but that it's happening, it's coming along. The only thing we don't know is Castlevania. It's been rumored that there's a Castlevania game that's been in development for a couple years now. But yeah, Xanarkin, it was nice getting a, doesn't happen often, but a 33-part super chat from you, man. And I'm glad that you enjoyed Metal Gear Delta. It's been a long journey. You know, we went from back in 2020 with the announcement of the PS5, we went from, you know, going over rumors that MGS1 remake is coming and Silent Hill remake is coming, and we didn't hear anything for a long time, and it seemed like and then there was the whole Blue Box saga, which was linked to that to a degree. But here we are, man. You know, 5 years later we did get these remakes. We did get a proper Metal Gear Solid remake, and it's impressive. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with Konami. I'm impressed with Bluebird Team. I'm impressed with everything that, and I'm impressed with even though I didn't play it, the team that made Silent Hill F. I forget the Neobards. I'm impressed because this could have went so sideways, man. This could have been a disaster, a train wreck. It could have been the worst thing ever. And we have Silent Hill Townfall coming next year, apparently. So apparently there was a rumor that there's going to be a Silent Hill, what do they call it? It's like the little events that they do. A Silent Hill transmission, I think is what they call it. Apparently there's going to be a Silent Hill transmission coming before the end of this month. And they're going to show us Townfall, and they're going to show us the first Silent Hill 1 remake trailer. So Konami's been fucking cooking, man. And I'm so happy, like, to see them have this kind of resurgence. You know, again, I love Silent Hill. I'm not the biggest Castlevania fan at all. Like, I can't even say I'm a Castlevania fan. That would be disingenuous. I've never really got into Castlevania. I played a little bit here and there. I remember I played that Lords of Shadow game or something, and I was like, this is like God of War. It was fun, but I'm open to Castlevania. You know, I'm open to seeing like what they do with that and what a new Castlevania from them looks like in 2025, 2026. But really, when it comes to the Metal Gear franchise, I think the future looks brighter than ever. You know, I know that Kojima's done, but the beauty in this, in my opinion, is that we are going to technically get a new Metal Gear, technically, a spiritual successor from Kojima called Fizzant. And that's going to be amazing. And then we got Konami, who is treating it with respect. They're handling it with care, and they understand that they have to be, you know, they have a young team, a new generation of developers working on Metal Gear that have a lot to learn, and they're taking it slow and doing it right. And I respect that a lot. And we've come a long way from Metal Gear Survive, dude. So I'm really hoping that we get some more greatness when it comes to Metal Gear and Silent Hill from Konami. And it's looking good. It's looking good. So in conclusion, the answer is yes. Did Metal Gear Solid Delta live up to the hype? Abso-fucking-lutely it did. Amazing game, dude. So, God. Sometimes I think life is good. It is. You know why? Because in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be playing, and this is mind-blowing to me, I'm going to be playing. Oh, Titus, no, I didn't get Gaming Survivor. I got your song. Excuse me. We'll play some songs at the end while I do some reps. And Titus, you sent. Oh, Titus, you're talking about the So yeah, I don't know. Maybe you weren't there on stream. I did play both, or I at least played one of them. I played the first one. The Gregorian chanting one, I think, was not coming through clearly, but I played the first one, and everybody liked it. They liked the feel of it. So if you want to do more, and send, yeah, I felt bad because like I don't think he's here, but if you want to do more, whenever, if you have any type of inspiration, feel free to send them over, and when we hit certain goals, I'll try to play them. I appreciate that it wasn't crazy, like Rich Rod's. Gaming Survivor and Titus know how to like keep it somewhat chill. Meanwhile, Rich Rod's like, I'm just start calling people gay. Like, okay, I'm only producing more metal when Rich Rod responds. But what I was gonna say, I'm gonna try that, Neo. Yeah, I saw that Arc Raiders is having a server slam tomorrow. I'm gonna try it if it's playable. If the servers don't crash. I've been curious about that game. But in the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna be playing, and I know this sounds so random, and they're just two completely different games. But I'm gonna be playing Plants vs. Zombies Remastered on my PS5, which it's so amazing to see that game finally come up from the PS3. It's been so long. The original Plants vs. Zombies, incredible game, 10 out of 10 game. I'm going to be playing that and a Metal Gear multiplayer mode. I'm in gaming heaven, bro. In the next 2 weeks, I'm in gaming heaven. This is why I'm like, I got to finish Yote, because these things are coming up and they're going to... I'll be playing Yote as well. But... Damn, Planet Clippy, that's... Planet Clippy says, is your refrigerator running? Because if it is, it probably runs like you very homosexually. Yo, I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, we're going to get PS5 Pro enhancements for PVZ. I don't know why, but reading that joke from Planet Clippy, holy shit, I wasn't going to save this. I'm going to say this now, because if I don't, I'm going to forget it. Members, when we do another members lounge, maybe tomorrow I could talk about it with Morning with the Misses. Remind me. I'm watching all the Halloween movies. Me and Mrs. MBG decided that's what we were going to do for October. We're going through all the Halloween movies. And I didn't realize, like, dude, I haven't seen, like, any of these movies. I've seen, like, the first one, and that's it. I didn't realize there was, like, so many. Okay, hold on, bro. Listen. Does anybody... I just want to know if... So I watched Halloween 1, 2, and 3, and I'm starting 4 tonight. Without even saying anything, does anybody know can you guess the thought that's on my mind? The thing that sticks out that, like, when I saw this, I literally fell off the sofa, dude. I couldn't get over it. I even looked in, I'm like, what the hell is this scene? And I looked it up, and there's like lore behind it and stuff. And I'm like, it was the crazy, I just couldn't believe it. Somebody's got to know what I'm referring to. I mean, maybe it's not fair because I'm giving you like 3 different movies to choose from. Oh my God, there's 2 scenes. There's 2 totally out of pocket scenes. And, I'll just tell you at least the first one. Oh no, Planet Clippy. I just, we're just joking. It's not serious. Okay, so Halloween 2. Within, I think, the first 20 minutes of this movie playing, I'm just going to tell you what happens. I'm not going to give you the context. I'll give you a little bit of context. Halloween 2. There are cops and the doctor. I forget the name of the doctor. Loomis, I think his name is. They're searching for Michael Myers because Michael Myers is on the loose in the town murdering people. Okay, and it's nighttime. It's Halloween night. There's kids trick-or-treating. They drive up the street, and you see a small group of kids. They look like they're teenagers, and they're in their costumes. And they have trick-or-treating bags. One of them is dressed like Michael Myers. Okay. Does anybody know what scene I'm talking about, man? Oh, yeah, we're talking about the originals, Titus. Yeah, there's like reboots and everything. Dude, I just have to show you the scene. I can't. I may get a copyright and I have to delete this part of the stream, but I can't. Me describing it does not do it justice. I'm not gonna do this scene justice if I try to describe it. So give me a second. We need to watch this together. This scene is still living in my head because I just can't believe. I'm like, bro, what is this scene? Like, what is this scene? I don't need my glasses anymore. Hold on. Let me surely it's on YouTube. It has to be on YouTube. Oh, and I definitely want to play that Halloween game. You know what? Hold on though. Hold on. I'm very nervous actually about showing this scene. I'm very, very nervous. I can't show the scene. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And you know why? I'll tell you why. I'm going to get a copyright strike. Not a claim. I will get a copyright strike because I showed something similar to this before and YouTube gave me a strike. And I was very confused because I wasn't sure what I showed. So when I describe what it is, you'll understand. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I've God damn it. God damn it. I wish I could show it to you. I will tell you what you can look up though. Okay. So let me see. So if you're on YouTube, like open up a second tab and you can watch the scene I'm talking about on your own. Open up YouTube and type in, let's see. So Halloween 2. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna. All right. Type in. I don't know if that was coming through. By the way. Okay. My audio is muted. Type in Halloween 2 explosion and click. It should be the second video that comes up. It has 185,000 views. It says Halloween 2, 1981. You know what? I can link it. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. I can just fucking link it. I'm sorry. I'm giving you guys instructions. I'm linking it. Okay? Dude, this scene is fucking wild. This scene is absolutely bonkers. I'm watching it right now. We're watching it together. I can't even play the audio, but I'm just. Dude, this scene is the most insane thing I've ever seen in a movie. Like the whole thing. The whole thing. I hope you guys are watching this. Amazing. Dude, this is like one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a movie. So listen, the reason why this scene's so funny, guys, the reason why this scene is so fucking funny and why I can't show it is because, dude, like it's just kids trick or treating, and that, like, the dude dressed as Michael Myers, where that, he gets hit, and it just, for some reason there's just a van. For some reason there's just a van in the middle of the road, horizontally, like, it's so insane because this doctor is chasing these kids. And this one kid who just looks like he's dressed up like Michael Myers, who's clearly holding a trick-or-treating bag, bro. He's like chasing him down with a gun. And if you watch the scene, it's just such an amazing scene because the kid's like looking at him. He's like, keeps looking at him like, bro, like, get away from me. And then you think like, oh, he's going to shoot him. And a fucking cop car comes 70 miles down the road, 70 miles per hour down the road, and just destroys him, bro. And then here's the craziest part. They just leave. They just leave, man. Like, they're just like, all right, let's get out of here. I was fucking flabbergasted. Now, it's also worth noting that this scene comes like 20 minutes in the movie, and up till this point, nothing even remotely like this has happened. There's no explosions. There's no like major pyrotechnics. I know, dude, the instant explosion, it's incredible. It's incredible. This is one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen in any movie. And I don't think I've watched something. It's been so many years since I've been watching a movie where something made me literally like fall down and gasp and be like, I cannot believe what I just witnessed. And it gets worse. It gets worse, dude, because I got to ask you guys this question. Who here has seen Halloween 3? I'm just so fascinated by some of these movies, man. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Bro. Oh, man. I don't know. I feel like I've stumbled upon a gold mine here. I'm enjoying this so much. Like, the first Halloween movie is obviously a classic. And we have Xanarkin with another super chat. Part 34. MBG, please don't show copyright footage. Don't want to lose those MGS Delta conversation super chats. Please archive. Is that clear? Is that clear, Snake? Don't worry. Yeah, I linked it in the chat. I'm not going to show it. I just can't risk it. That scene, again, it's a kid trick or treating that's being chased by a crazy doctor with a revolver. The kid just tries to walk away, and then a cop car going 70 miles an hour just slams him into a van and instantly explodes. And then they all just like, well, our job here's done, and then they just leave. And it wasn't even Michael Myers. It was just some random kid trick-or-treating. It's like, yeah, I'm afraid to show that. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing, dude. Oh, man. My job here's done. And you know what the beauty of it is? If you just watch that scene without any context, it still looks ridiculous. It still looks insane. But guys, I need to know. I don't know why I'm like so passionate about this right now. It's because it's just really got to me. So as me and Mrs. MBG, we're watching the Halloween movies. We start with Halloween 1, directed by John Carpenter, classic. Has a couple of, I think Halloween 1 has some flaws, right? I think we all agree. Like, Halloween 1 has some flaws, but you kind of forgive them because it has this kind of endearing quality and this unsettling quality. Like Michael Myers as a character and the way the doctor describes him, like there were a couple of things in Halloween 1 where like Laurie, the first time she thinks she kills him, she lets her guard down and she's in like shock. It's like, okay, the second, but then he gets back up again and she has to kill him again. And then she just like goes and sits down with her back turned towards him, But yeah, man, it's one of these movies where it's old, so it's got a couple of things that are, like if you're watching it today, you're like, oh, well, because horror movies have evolved so much, but it's a classic for a reason because it gets so many things right. And it has this feel to it. So I understand why Halloween 1 is a classic. I'm like, it's such a good movie. It's perfect. You think so? And maybe it's just, I don't know. I know there's like extremely passionate fans that like it's perfect in every way. And maybe for the time, like honestly, like what was it, 1978? I think it was. Like, yeah, there's not really anything like this out here. I guess in a sense it is perfect. But dude, I watched the second one and I'm like, the second one was also good, but I don't know. The second one was kind of it was pretty creepy because you're in a hospital. And what creeped me out about Halloween 2, because it takes place mostly in a hospital, is Michael Myers is running rampant in a hospital, and there's like so few people around. Like that creeped me out. Like there are people there. There's like one or two doctors. There's like 10 staff members in this whole hospital. I'm like, that to me is disturbing. There's like something very creepy about that. Like it feels like some kind of nightmare. So I don't know if that was done intentionally, but it definitely gave it like a creepier vibe. But here's what threw me for a loop. Here's what you're saying, MBG. What would you say that scene made the movie for you? You asked me like what scene from Halloween 1 that made the movie good for me. Goonerween. I mean, there were quite a few scenes in Halloween 1. Let me think. What was the most standout scene to me? I think for me in Halloween 1, it was a few, it wasn't just one scene, it was a few scenes. I think what makes it so scary, I mean, you have the doctor, right? And the way the doctor describes Michael Myers is very creepy, but it's when you see him just stalking people and he's just standing there. But like sometimes they don't see him, other times you do. It's just seeing him standing there in broad daylight, you know, like when Laurie Strode's like looking out the window and he's just standing there looking up at the window. I'm like, to me, that shit's scary. Like that's extremely unsettling. And it's like real. It's got like this real feel to it though, where it's like, yeah, that could be a thing. But anytime they showed him stalking and just staring, yeah, and the breathing, it's done really well. But another scene that I really liked, even though I was like questioning why she was just sitting there like that, is when you think he's dead and you see behind her, he's just laying there, and then he just gets up like a robot, and I'm like, okay, get the fuck out of there, man. That guy, whatever this is, it ain't human. Oh, Gaming Survivor, what is this? Do I want to know? I can't watch this yet. Gaming Survivor, I can't watch this one yet because this is the movie I'm going to watch tonight. But I see the beginning of it. There's a truck. They're pulling up in a truck. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to be looking out for this in the movie. But yeah, I just want to say this though, and I guess I'll wrap up. Yeah, spoilers, bro, from a movie from 1988. I guess this will be where we kind of wrap up the stream too. But I want to say one more thing. Will I watch a short film? Irfan, I'm not going to watch it on stream, but if you send it to me, I could check it out. If you want to link it. Did you ever watch Skeletor reveals the Xbox Game Pass? I posted it in the community tab. No, Wes, when we do another members lounge, remind me. Maybe I'll go check that out. And Irfan, let me see this real quick. Yeah, I just have one other thing I got to say here about the Halloween movies so far. The Jigsaw, one of the best short. Ooh, yeah, I'll have to check this out. I like short films like this sometimes. It's horror related. Sweet. Yeah, I'll check that out, Irfan. And Jake, you sent some emails. Let me see here. Days Gone developer lets players return to an older PC version. People have their suspicion about where this sudden wave of nostalgia is coming from. Ooh. Yeah, wait, we got some Days Gone news from 7 hours ago. I still have something I want to say about Halloween, so let me just do an aside here. Sony and Ben Studio gave PC players a nice surprise by letting them get their hands on the original version of Days Gone again For context, let's recall that Days Gone was released on PC in 2021. It was a version of the game that originally came out 4 years earlier on the PS4. In April of this year, a remastered edition of the game titled Days Gone Remastered released on PS5. On PC, most of the improvements, but not all, were made available to owners of the original version for free in an update. It was nice, but doing it as a patch basically meant that you could not download the 2021 version anymore. But that's finally changed. All you need to do is go to the game's properties in the Steam client, and then in the beta section, choose between patch 1.07, which is 2021 version, and patch 1.8, which is the 2025 version. Adding this option is good news. Some players think that the main reason for this generosity might be that version 1.08 still has a lot of technical issues, especially with lag and audio glitches. Fans think that instead of fixing the issues, the creators decided it would be easier to just let players enjoy the older version that doesn't have these problems. It's interesting to note that on the Steam forum thread discussing the change, most of the comments are people asking for Days Gone 2. Fortunately, it seems like they're not interested in doing that. So that's fascinating. I'm surprised by that. I almost read that as like maybe they're going to do something more with Days Gone. Why else would they go back and allow this? And Zero Connection, a member for 9 months, says, have you platinumed MGS Delta? I platinumed the MGS 3 HD collection. Fury on Extreme was a struggle. Yes, I did platinum it, and yes, the Fury was a pain in the ass. Not as annoying as the pain, though. The pain was the biggest pain. But I did platinum at Zero Connection, and I really enjoyed it. One of my more proud platinums. Yeah, I saw that. Tomonobu Itagaki passed away at 58. It's very sad. Rest in peace. And Japan physical sales. Jake, thank you for the emails, buddy. I appreciate it. Help keep me up to date with stuff. And Prince G, a member for 19 months, says Black Ops 6's, or sorry, I don't know why I said Black Ops. Battlefield 6's 7 million sales in 3 days are off the charts. Fuck Slop O'Dookie and Micro Slop. Slop O'Dookie. Slop of Dookie. Oh, man. Will you answer the Dookie? Anyway, what's going on? Shout out to Hanzo, Hank Reza, and Gaming Eye of the Tiger Survivor. Yes, Prince, thank you, buddy. Always appreciate the passion. So listen, I got one more thing to say, and then we're gonna wrap this up. All right. I have to ask, how many of you guys here, has anybody here seen Halloween 3? Okay, because again, I'm watching the Halloween movies. Halloween 1, Michael Myers. Halloween 2, more Michael Myers. Halloween 3, I was extremely confused about because when I started watching the movie, it's called Halloween 3 Night of the Witch or something like that. It started off so weird that I actually thought I was watching the wrong movie. And even Mrs. MBG thought we were watching the wrong movie. And if you don't know, you're watching it tomorrow. Season of the Witch, thank you. If you don't know about Halloween 3, I looked into this. Apparently, when they made Halloween 3, Michael Myers is not in it. And it's a completely different story. Original characters, original story that has nothing to do with Michael Myers and any of those events. And the reason being was because they wanted to make an anthology series. They didn't want to just keep it focused on Michael Myers, which is super interesting. Yeah, I think John Carpenter, he wanted to make a Halloween. He wanted the Halloween name to be an anthology, which is a great idea. But, oh, man, this movie is something. It's actually not that. It's kind of bad, but it has endearing qualities. There is a scene in this movie. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It happened in the second movie. And the third movie, it was even more jarring. So I talked to you guys about that scene in the second movie where that kid who's dressed as Michael Myers just gets absolutely obliterated by cops and just wrecked. And I'm like, what the hell is that? In the third movie, it's so fucking weird. Like, it's really difficult to describe this without getting demonetized. And if you have not seen this movie, it just sounds so weird. But like, let me simplify this as much as I can. In this movie, it starts with there is a man that's being chased. This man ends up making his way to the hospital because there's another man in a suit chasing him, trying to kill him. This man who's being chased ends up in the hospital, and then the doctor, who's the main character of the movie, encounters him, and the guy who is being chased says they're all going to kill us, and this doctor's really unsettled by that. So they admit this guy, he's in like a coma. This dude who was chasing him in the suit sneaks his way into the room, kills him, and then proceeds to go into the parking lot, sits in a car, lights himself on fire, and in true Halloween fashion, as soon as the fire ignites, the entire car explodes. It was kind of funny. This doctor then ends up interacting with the man who just died, who was killed with this guy's daughter, who looks like she's 21 years old. The doctor looks like he's 55 years old. Okay. And there's almost this weird air. So like the doctor ends up going into a bar, and this woman follows him, this 21-year-old girl, and was like, "Did my father say anything to you before he died?" And he's like freaking out. He's like, "Yes, he did. He said that they're all gonna kill us. Like they're gonna kill us all. They're coming after us." And she's like, "I've been suspicious. We have to go investigate." And he agrees. And he's like, "Let's look into this. Let's go find the last place your father was to figure out what's going on here." And there's like this weird, I'm like, and I'm sitting there, I'm watching this movie. I'm like, do not tell me. Don't tell me that there's going to be something going on here between these two characters. Oh boy. I had no idea what was coming. Literally within the next 10 minutes of the movie, it shows them driving to this town, this like obscure town, a very strange town. Within 10 minutes of all this happening, they drive to this town and they get a hotel room together. And I shit you not, within 10 minutes, they're doing it. They're doing it. And it was just so, I was like, what? And they show it too. And I'm like, what? Like, what's happening? Like the dude just starts kissing her. And I'm like, I literally felt, I'm not a prude or anything, but I'm like, this is uncomfortable. Like, what is this? Who put this here? And it's so off-putting because nothing in this movie, there's no build-up, there's no nothing. It just happens. And it's so unsettling. And I'm like, bro, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. No. It's just so weird, dude. And I was like, absolutely, this movie was made in 1982. Obviously, this movie was made in 1982. But I was laughing my ass off because I'm like, everything about this is wrong, dude. Like, you don't even know who this girl is. Like, this woman doesn't know you. You're a freaking random doctor, you know? And you don't have to lie to us. But I'm like, this is just weird. And I don't know. The rest of the movie was also strange. It was just it's a strange movie, man. Gaming Scriber, I'm afraid what you're sending me, man.
Open my eyes! My eyes! Ah!
That's apparently me when I go out to my yard and try to do yard work. There was nudity in movies back then just because, and that's the thing, dude. Like, yeah, in the first two Halloween movies, you're right. They show some nudity, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. What was so weird about this was just the nature of like, this is like a 50-something-year-old married man, or he seems like he's married or separated, I assume, because there's like scenes earlier in the movie where he's like talking on the phone with his wife, and his wife seems really naggy, or not naggy, but like just like overbearing. And he it was so weird. Like I don't know. It was weird energy, bro. Whoever wrote this movie was, I don't know, I don't think John Carpenter wrote it, but they were going through some weird stuff. But yeah, I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that. And here's the best part. When me and Mrs. MBG were watching this, and I was just like looking at her like, this is so weird and abrupt. as soon as they showed the scene, the nudity, they showed the nudity, and they're like, you know, the woman's laying down, and they're like showing how they're getting intimate. I shit you not, it cuts to advertisements, and like Applebee's shows up on the screen. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm not even kidding, dude. I'm not kidding. I was like, I burst out laughing. Like, I just didn't know. I'm having a good time. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching these older movies, and I'm watching them on these streaming services. And you know, the advertisements are annoying, but in a way, it's like they're working together with these older movies to just make shit so amazing. Like, just this crazy combination of like, it's like a fever dream a little bit, and I'm like, this is kind of awesome. Women dated older men back then. Well, I mean, yeah, like, was that more common? I don't know if that's more or less common now, but it was handled so casually that I'm like, is this just a thing? I don't understand. And Xanarkin with another super chat says, Sir Hanzo Reza says, MBG, you ever seen the Halloween parody on YouTube? I'm sorry I missed that, Hanzo. No, I didn't. Halloween parody, maybe I'll watch that after that short film. Maybe I have. I don't know. Let me see. See what comes up. I accidentally typed, why did Halloween party food? No, parody. Halloween party food from 6 years ago. Oh my God. Okay. Michael Myers in the backyard raking leaves. Okay, that's amazing. The thumbnail alone is amazing. It was probably more common back then when we died sooner. Well, anyway, man. You know, I definitely recommend. Maybe I don't know. I'll let you know how I feel. I'm gonna end up watching all the Halloween movies, including the remakes and the reboots, but I'll review it when I'm done all of them. You know, I enjoy watching movies. I do. I got to do it more often. I will, Irfan. I'll check it out. Jake sent me a short. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. This we might have to react to. So, Jake, yes. This is funny shit, dude. We have one more thing we're gonna do. This is gaming related. Okay, I'll have to see how I can. Hold on one sec. Michael Lynch with a $5 chat says, it happened plenty back then, but society didn't get offended by things as much and didn't freak out about every little thing. Yeah, you know what's interesting watching these older movies, dude? I mean, at least like from the 70s and the 80s, you do get that sense, you know? Like there's a vibe to it, you know? And you can just almost sense like the way society was and the differences in our society back then, where there were some things that were bad, obviously, like it wasn't all great. You know, there's the good and the bad, but it's very different, and you could pick up on that. And I kind of enjoy watching these older movies sometimes because of that, because I wasn't around during that time, but I could pick up on it. Like I could get a sense of like things were just different. And it almost gives me a sense like my dad grew up, you know, in the 70s, in the 80s, and it gives me a sense of like what my father or my mother as well, like what they grew up, the eras that they grew up in. I start to lose it beyond the 60s though, like going into the 50s and the 40s and stuff. I'm like, it's like a totally different time. It totally like nothing similar. All right, Michael, thank you for the super chat. Let me I got to bring this up. We got to watch this last clip because it's pretty funny. It'll just take me a moment to I don't know if it's going to show. I don't know if it's going to show properly though because it's a short. I don't know what this looks like. I guess, no, see, that's not going to work. Hold on. I have to mess with this. All right, so this is a clip. You guys will appreciate this one. Some of you may have already seen it, but you'll appreciate it. Let me, I told you you'd appreciate it. Enjoy.
Hey there, buddy. How's my number one Xbox fan?
God damn it, Xbox CEO Phil Spencer. Not again.
What, you're not happy to see your old pal Big Philly?
No. Every time you show up, it's just so you can punch me in the dick with bad news. I'm tired of it, man.
Come on, that's ridiculous. Name one time that's happened.
Hey, Phil, I'm really excited to play Halo Infinite. It's gonna be
Unfinished release. Hey, bud, I know I told you to pin all your hopes on Redfall, but worst game of the year. Massive layoffs at Xbox. Shutting down award-winning studios.
But I thought you said Hi-Fi Rush was a breakout hit.
Don't you ever quote me to me. No more Xbox exclusives. Console price hike. Perfect Dark reboot canceled. Another console price hike. Yeah, I have no memory of any of those.
Look, I love Xbox. Yeah, I've been a ride or die since the beginning. But these past few years with the incessant dick punches you've been delivering, it's just made it really hard to be an Xbox fan.
Hey, bud, I get it. We've made some mistakes in the past, but this time it's not my fault. You know, there's market conditions beyond my control. All the crazy tariffs, inflation, the looming recession. You know, you're not the only one that's the victim of this administration's decisions. It's hard out here for everyone, including us.
Yeah, sure, times are definitely tough and there's a lot of people struggling out there, but come on, read the fucking room. You guys are a $4 trillion company. 4 trillion! A number so absurdly high that most people can't even conceive of it. So why don't you, for once, be the consumer-friendly company you promised Xbox would be when you took over and use some of that massive wealth to help protect the millions of Xbox gamers who are struggling? Because if companies like yours don't start helping their customers now, you might not have any in the future.
Whoa. I mean, you've given me a lot to think about.
Huh. That's great, Phil. Maybe you really are as caring as you appear.
And done thinking. $30 a month for Game Pass. Thanks for the pep talk, pal. You brought up a lot of great things, but ultimately, I like it when the numbers on my graphs go up, so price hikes. See you next month, champ.
Woo! Xbox!
Hey there, buddy. How's my...
Oh man, dude, that one was actually really good. That was, you have to admit, that was well made. That was well made. And man, I mean, dude, if I had talent like of any kind in this space, I feel like that's the way I would have constructed it. You know, they did a really good job. It's, oh, that ending, like, wow, you really gave me a lot to think about. $30 a month. Thank you, Jake. Yeah, I did see that, or I came across that, but I didn't think to bring it up on here. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play, goddamn, a song from Gaming Survivor and get a couple reps in since we hit 50 members today, okay? And then we're going to wrap it up, close it out. I got to get a workout in. Let me just fix the screen here. All right. Okay. I'm going to mute myself. I'm sorry. I was muted. I'm sorry. I was just trying to tell you guys the title of the song, and I was just laughing. The title of this song from Gaming Survivor is Game Pass the Devil's Bargain. So All right, let's get those reps in, bro. Oh my god, dude. This is crazy. Oh, I wasn't muted? Wait. Oh, hold on. Shit. I wasn't muted. My bad. You got no, you know why you fucked me up? You got me because I have two microphone settings here. Microphone 2, microphone 1. And if I were to have both unmuted, it would echo. I think it's microphone 1 that I never turn on. So I thought for a second I hit the wrong one. Man, all right, we're going to listen to this song and get some reps in.
I saw the devil playing Halo last night. He whispered deals under neon light. No controller in my hand, just ash and sand. This ain't the future we all planned. Xbox Game Pass is burning in hell, where the pixels crack and the servers fell. You pay the toll, but you can't escape. The fire's too hot, the game's too late. 100 choices, but none feel real. Chasing shadows on a spinning wheel. Lost in a library, cold and bare. The digital graveyard, who's waiting there? What's the cost? What's the crime? We sold our joy for borrowed time. Xbox Game Pass is burning in hell, where the pixels crack and the servers fell. You pay the toll, but you can't escape. The fire's too hot, the game's too late. What's the cost? What's the crime? We sold our joy for borrowed time. Xbox Game Pass is burning in hell, where the pixels crack and the servers fell. You pay the toll, but you can't escape. The fire's too hot, the game's too late. Game's too late. Achievements scream like banshees in the dark. All the fun erased, just a hollow mark. I'd trade this wasteland for a cartridge or two. The devil's bargain I never knew.
It was real this time. I'm sorry. Shit. I was just going to do my outro completely muted. We're good now. Another classic, sorry, from Gaming Survivor. Thank you for that, Gaming Survivor. Guys, that's going to wrap up today's stream. That does it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate your support. Want to give a big shout out to all the support you guys showed today. We hit 52 members, which is awesome. Was not expecting that. Thank you so much. Again, reminder, Morning with the Missus tomorrow. Okay. So we're going to probably do it at 10 a.m. So look out for that stream. I'll put it out ahead of time, early tomorrow morning. And yeah, so also I'm gonna give a shout out to Zanarkan. Bro dropped like 36 super chats today, so thank you so much for that, man. And thank you to just everybody who dropped any support. Leia, hey, stop that. I'm gonna destroy the door. Anyway, yeah, guys. Also got to give a shout out to Devil Shooter, who does the timestamps for the streams. If you see Devil Shooter in the chat with those timestamps, give him some thanks, show him some love. And that does it. That's going to wrap it up. So please enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow with Morning with the Misses, and then possibly with a regular stream afterwards. All right, so that's it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, everyone.